Sal Best.
Live when the mic snap.
Justin.
In the cut, bring the fight back. Windy City talk, turn it down, that's that. Welcome to the show, it's Bulls on Tap. Bulls on Tap, pull it up, press play. Chi-Town talk, we can run it all day. From the tip-off buzz to the post-game rap. If you rock with the Bulls, you rock with Bulls on Tap.
Bulls Nation, you are tapped in to another episode of the Bulls on Tap podcast, the official Chicago Bulls podcast of the On Tap Sports Network. I'm Sal Bass, standing by here with my co-host Justin, who ready to serve you up an ice cold serving of live Chicago Bulls breakdown. This is something that me and my co-host have never done before, so you guys are going to go on this joyride with us. But before we get into that, Justin, how you doing? And more importantly, how's your back feel from carrying the weight of this podcast while I've been in hiatus for a little bit?
Oh man, I'm doing good. I really didn't feel like I carried the last pod at all. Honestly, I got to give a shout out to Matt Peck and Big Dave from the CHGO podcast coming on. Those dudes, I mean, if we want to talk about somebody carrying it, I kind of felt like Jason Kidd in that podcast, and they were like Richard Jefferson and Kenyon Martin running the wings next to me. Like I was just serving it up to them. They handled the rest of it. So I thought it was a great pod, and those guys, they're awesome. So I thought it went really well.
Yeah, they most certainly are. And that was a fun one to listen to. Of course, I couldn't make it. I was at work, but definitely listening to that pod, it was really good. They're a great group of guys. And it's always good when you get compliments on your intro. Like that meant a lot to me, when just being told that your intro is good. I mean, I don't know, after working so hard on it, just to hear somebody say that they liked it, it just, I don't know, gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling. But Justin, we got Bulls to watch. Like we said earlier, this is the very first time that me or you, for that matter, is going to be doing a live breakdown. So we're going to be watching the game live, kind of breaking it down and trying to do a play-by-play. I don't know if I can speak that fast to do it. We'll channel our inner Stacey King and Neil Funk and then see how it goes.
See how it goes, man.
But before the game actually tips off, we'd like to give you guys a little preview of what we think will happen, what to expect, players to look out for. So, Justin, before I get started, what do you think is going to be the outcome?
I think the Raptors, I think the Raptors are going to win. I mean, they're a team that they're in the playoff hunt. They need to win as many games as they can down the stretch, because before they were locked into like a top 4 seed in the East for most of the year. But if you look at the standings now, the Magic are playing better, the Heat are playing better, the Hawks are playing better. Like that 5-6 spot, it's up for grabs right now. So expect the Raptors to come out, play hard tonight. For the Chicago Bulls, I mean, just keep doing what you've been doing. Let Giddey cook, let Buzelis cook. You've given Dillingham a little bit longer of a runway. We got Colin Sexton back tonight. Hopefully that doesn't affect the runway that we've given Rob Dillingham the last couple of games, but that's what I'm looking for. What are you looking for in this game?
Honestly, I think I don't speak alone when I say I'm most excited to see Leonard Miller, man. Ever since we slid him into the rotation and gave him some actual minutes, he's turned my head, and I've really enjoyed watching Leonard Miller because his aggression, man. The guy crashes the boards. He's everywhere on the floor. When he gets his minutes, he's a prime example of he takes advantage of every single moment that he's out there. So we got Bulls on Tap in the house with Lenny Mill. All right.
Yeah.
And
There's
shout out Guilty.
Shout out Guilty.
And Guilty. But yeah, I'm looking to just see progression, man. Like we said earlier, and I'm sure, Bulls podcasts have bled this dry. At this point of the season, I just like to see progression and what we can take into next season. If that means we go out there and play 48 hard minutes and don't get the W, but we look good in the process, that's fine. But if we go out there, try our hardest and win, I'm not going to get upset that we got the dub. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be disappointed in a Chicago Bulls victory, and that you can stamp that. What are your thoughts on Leonard Miller before you get into it?
This game is this game might be the most excited I've been to see Leonard Miller out there, because he's going to match up with Scotty Barnes. So the thing with Leonard Miller that jumps out to me is his size. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was when we traded for him. Like, he just looks bigger on the court. He even plays bigger than he is, which is saying a lot because he's a pretty big dude. But Scotty Barnes always kills us, and part of the reason is he bullies us. Like Patrick Williams, he makes him look like a child. every time we play. So I want to see how Leonard Miller handles that matchup, because Scotty Barnes isn't a dude that is necessarily going to score 30 or 40 on you, but the way that he dictates the game with his rebounding, with his playmaking, with his defense, he's a hell of a matchup. So if Leonard Miller can hold his own tonight, that's going to change my mind about exactly what he is, because right now I think he's a solid piece, but I'm still not sure if he's an actual piece or this is a little bit of that March jumping stats that we see sometimes. But if he takes it to Scotty Barnes tonight, I'm gonna have to change my mind on that. He's gonna be legit.
Yeah, I know us as Chicago's fans. I don't know if it's just a general fan thing, but I know we definitely do it in Chicago. When we find that like was that the unsung hero that steps up and plays a few good games, we're always looking to like, he's got to slide in and be the starter from now on. He's got to come back. Like, we're always really high on our unsung heroes. Like, if you're a Bears fan, which I don't know if you follow any football, you a Bears fan at all?
I'm a very casual Bears fan. Very casual.
Well, as you know, if you're a Bears fan, like, you know that our quarterbacks, like, we go through them like crazy. And whenever we slide a backup QB in there and they have a game, everyone's always going for like, start him. So I'm getting a little reminiscent of that with Leonard Miller, but I'm with you. I want to see how he finishes the season off, because if he continues to play this strong, there's no reason why Billy Donovan doesn't just keep him a volatile role of this rotation for the remainder of the year. All right, chat. If you're in the house, drop and say hi in the box down below. Let us know how we're doing. Good, better, best. I like that.
Hey, we got Noah in the chat, hoping to see a big game from Modest. Aren't we all, Noah? Aren't we all hoping to see a big game from Modest?
Absolutely. We got the starting lineup going right now, and let me just start by saying I've only seen about 3 or 4 other starting lineup montage videos in my lifetime, and by far the Chicago Bulls have the best video montage. It gets me hype every single time. If you're a fan of my other show, you'll know that I borrowed a couple seconds of it for our intro video. I mean, it's perfection. It gets me pumped. All right.
Yeah.
Who do you think wins the tip?
I've been to the United Center 3 or 4 times in my life, and the intro hits even harder in person. I think I've been to a lot of different NBA arenas, and that is by far the coolest experience by far, when they got that lineup video going, and then you got Tim Sinclair on the mic, and it's just goosebumps, man. How many have you gotten to a Bulls game recently, Sal?
I was actually at the Derrick Rose jersey retirement. It's honestly the only one I've been to this year. I try to go to about a few of them a year, but a buddy of mine at work, he actually is in a group where he gets it's like the tickets that people don't, like, they can't use. So they just say, hey, if anyone wants it, here they are. So he gets some pretty good seats, and usually if you wait till like the last minute where people can't really sell them anymore, usually get some pretty good gems. But this year I just been to the Derrick Rose one.
I mean, that's the one to go to. That's the best game of the year.
Yeah, it was, man. And the best part of it, like, we were talking about the video montage, like, at the beginning where everyone's like, Bulls Nation, Derrick Rose, they actually filmed Derrick Rose doing that one. Like, the montage for that was entirely Derrick Rose, which is really cool, man. Who do you think wins the tip?
Who are the Raptors starting at center? Because CMB is out. I'll say the Bulls win the tip, I guess, since I can't really think of who the Raptors. I'm guessing Scotty Barnes is probably going to do the tip for them. Yeah, I'll be optimistic. I'll say the Bulls will win the tip.
There you go. Oh, I wonder who we got. I wonder if what do we got? Sticks jumping, or do we got Modest jumping? Guess we'll find out in a few.
Is there do you think there's any chance we kind of slow down Brandon Ingram tonight? Because in the 2 games we played this year, I think he had 31 the first game and 33 the other game. That guy, he's a bucket, man.
Do we slow him down? I don't know, man. Sometimes just bucket getters get their buckets, man. And it's I'm not going to take it as a win or a loss if we don't slow him down and he erupts for 30 plus points. I mean, scorers do what they do best. They score.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about Brandon Ingram, but I've been a huge Brandon Ingram fan since he's gotten in the league, man. I really did like his game. He really developed, I mean, dare I say, like a Kevin Durant-esque, like a Timu Kevin Durant-esque style of play, and he's really been one of my favorite players in the league. So, seeing as though we're going up against him tonight, I'll have to be rooting in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I like Brandon Ingram. I was never his biggest fan, but this year I've actually ended up watching a lot of Raptors this year because the way they're playing is totally different than anybody expected. When you have like Ingram and Barrett, you just think there's going to be a lot of isolation possessions, but pay attention to them tonight because they play a pretty open, free flowing style of offense. And I was thinking, I think I was watching them like 3 nights ago, and Ingram, he was just doing things, making quick decisions. And I was like, this kind of offense is what I wish we would have done when we had DeMar DeRozan here. Instead of giving DeRozan the ball and letting him pound it for, 15, 20 seconds, get it more free flowing, let him still use his mid-range ISO game. But you'll notice with Ingram, everything happens in like 3 seconds or less. They're much more decisive with him this year. So they've unlocked the best version of him. That guy is definitely a stud.
Yeah, agreed. Chad, if you're following along at home, we have the scoreboard down at the bottom there for you guys to follow along. I'm sure you guys are watching on your TVs, phones, or listening to it on the drive home, but we provided the scoreboard for you there at the bottom.
Early RJ Barrett bucket.
There you go. Okay.
What did you remember a couple years ago when the Bulls almost traded Zach LaVine for RJ Barrett? I think it was, I want to say it was the 22-23 season they almost did that.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you feel about that? Because I'm going to get a lot of slack for this, but I wouldn't have been that upset at it.
I wouldn't have been upset, especially because it's reported they offered 2 unprotected first-round picks, so it would have been much better than what the Bulls ended up getting for him. RJ Barrett's a guy, like, he's good, don't get me wrong, but you just look at his body and his game and the skills he has, and I don't know. He's one of those guys I watch, and he just always leaves me wanting more. Like, he's good, but I'm like, you should just be better. He has he hits a 3 right there as I'm saying this, has all the tools that you would think like a 25, 30 point per game scorer would have in the league.
Yeah. Honestly, when he got traded up to Toronto and then when they acquired Brandon Ingram, and I was a big fan of Emmanuel Quickly. Like, I feel like, and Jakob Poeltl, they feel like they have something special brewing there. I feel like they're a few players away from really making a splash. I mean, they're making a splash this year, but man, we have yet to register a point. We are 2 minutes into the game and we have a donut.
Yeah, the offense, it's looking a little sloppy. The Raptors are definitely forcing us into the half court offense. Giddey sails a pass out of bounds there. But yeah, the Raptors, they know the game plan. They're a really solid defensive team. So I think that's the game plan for any team against the Bulls, is force them into the half court.
Yeah. Well, the good news is I'm about 5 seconds ahead of our little score bug there. So
okay,
I get to see what happens before it happens.
Hey, guilty agrees with me on the Barrett thing. Thought he was going to be a premier wing in the league. Man, that Duke team, when it was him, Zion, Trey Jones was there, like, that was a nasty Duke team.
Yeah, it was. You said do you follow college basketball?
No, not if I'm being honest, not anymore. I was a pretty diehard college basketball fan growing up. Like, there was probably a 10-year stretch where up until Derrick Rose was drafted, I cared more about the Tar Heels than I did the Bulls, just because those were dark Bulls times. But I don't know. Cole Anthony's UNC year was like the last year that I was really locked into it, and now it's just a time thing. I mean, you know how it is. You got kids. Like, my wife gives me the grace to watch Chicago Bulls and a lot of NBA, so that doesn't leave a lot of free time to stay tuned into college as much as I'd like to.
Yeah, facts. I mean, honestly, as closely as I follow basketball and as much as I'm like, if I'm not watching games, I'm creating content. If I'm not, fine tuning some editing, I have no time to watch another sport here. So
right.
I usually like dip a little bit. I mentioned it in another episode. Like, I usually dip my interest in NCAA like around now for March Madness, just because with how close it is to the NBA draft, that's when I scout my players on who either the Bulls are going to draft or just to see who's the next big guy is in the league.
Yeah, I had a friend text me yesterday, and he was like, "Be honest, can Kansas beat Duke?" And I was like, "Dude, you're asking the wrong guy. I have not watched enough college basketball to answer that question for you." But it's a time thing, man. I mean, I run my own business. I have a 3-month-old daughter. I'm married. I got a dog. I'm trying to do this podcast thing now. Like that's one of the reasons I call myself a casual football fan is that's one of those hobbies that just kind of got left by the wayside because I don't have enough time in the world. I'm jealous of guys I see online who are somehow able to watch NBA, NFL, WWE, UFC, all the movies, all the new shows. Like they're up to date on it. And I'm like, damn, I got time for like one, maybe two things a day.
Yeah, honestly. It really is. It's really incredible. Like people find time to find all these teams, and I can barely follow one. Jalen Smith, I know we're a little behind here. Jalen Smith gets us on the board with 2 free throws.
Guilty in the chat mentioning Cam Reddish, man. I'm glad. I'm not gonna say I'm glad he's out of the league. He's a young kid, and obviously, I never want a young kid's dream to die. But from a Bulls fan perspective, I'm glad he's out of the league because I was so sick of seeing Bulls fans every time he got waived being like, "We got to sign that guy," because it's like, guys, he's just not it. Like I'm sure he's a nice guy and he's a hell of an athlete, but just one of those NBA guys. It never translated for him.
Yeah, facts. And that was another player I was pretty big on, Cam Reddish, and then laid a nice goose egg. Scotty B in the vicinity. Ladies and gentlemen, that's for those of you who know me from my other show, Scotty B is one of my 3 co-hosts from Horns Over Hoops. Scotty B has Kansas cannot beat Duke. Peterson does not care about playing for Kansas. Honestly, I haven't followed enough. I haven't followed enough to really comment on that. So Scotty B just did a really good March Madness episode with a couple of his friends last night on live stream. So I'll have to go back and rewatch it so I can get some pointers. Hey.
Shout out to Leonard Miller hitting that 3 there. His shot's coming along a little bit, but I did listen to about 15 minutes into Scotty's March Madness breakdown. Definitely dropping knowledge. Like I said, that's what I do to catch up this time of year because I will be watching this weekend. Is I just listen to podcasts with dudes who I know they know what they're talking about to try to catch up on the college game.
Yeah, honestly, it's what we do. Like when in doubt, you consult people that know more than you. Yep. You know what I mean? That's how we get all our. All right, so we got a commercial break? 14:10 going to commercial break.
Yeah, right. Miller hit that 3, brought us a little closer. His shot looks so ugly, bro, but it went in a couple times against the Grizzlies. He has some range on him. He's just got to clean that shot up a little bit. The form is what did Big Dave say on the pod we had with him? He said he looked like a right-handed guy trying to shoot left-handed.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to write with your opposite hand?
Oh yeah, I've tried. That's one of the things, like my background as a former professional fighter is I tried to teach myself to be ambidextrous because those are the most dangerous fighters, the guys who can go southpaw or orthodox. And part of that was I tried to learn how to do everything with my left hand. I tried to write, I tried to throw a ball, I tried like everything. I was like, if I could teach myself to be ambidextrous, I can do this. And when you're like 20 years old, it's too late. I think that's something you got to teach yourself as a kid. It never really stuck.
Yeah. I mean, I used to do it for fun, just, one in hand, one in the other hand, writing. Never, like, it looked terrible in my writing because I'm actually left-handed. I'm not right-handed.
Oh, you are?
I write with my left. Yeah. I'm weird, man. I'll bat right-handed, but I'll write lefty. I'll shoot a basketball left-handed, but I'll throw a baseball right-handed.
I'm always jealous of lefties because, like, you guys, your shot looks the coolest. Like Michael Redd had one of the prettiest jump shots ever as a lefty. Quarterbacks, like left-handed quarterbacks, Michael Vick, like they all, like lefties just look cooler the way they do things. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because we're so used to seeing right-handed that when somebody does it left-handed, you're like, holy shit, that's cool. But lefties make everything look cooler.
Man, but I'm jealous of righties when you guys write, man. Lefties, we drag in our hand through the freaking paper. By the time we're done writing a sentence, like this part of your hand right here is just covered in ink. So it's always jealous of the righties because they could write an entire sentence on paper and like your hand would be nice and clean still.
All right. People can't read my handwriting anyway, so I got that doctor handwriting, even though I'm not a doctor.
Yet. All right. Looks like we got Dillingham on the floor. We'll see his first appearance right now.
Bobby Dills, let's go. He had a good game against the Grizzlies. Most of it did come in the fourth quarter in garbage time, but there was some production there.
Yeah. Facts. I shoot lefty. Yeah. Oh, you shoot lefty too? Guilty? That's awesome. That's right. That's awesome, man.
I want to see some tape of Guilty on the basketball court. Like he was talking, like he played ball growing up. He grew up around Derrick Rose. He
Hmm.
what did he say on, was that on your pod when he was like, I was too cool to go to a Derrick Rose game in high school? Like Guilty must have
Hey,
been a hell of a player if he was like, I'm too good to go see Derrick Rose in high school.
I remember he was saying like his buddy said, "We're gonna go see my guy Pooh," and he's like, "I am not going to go see some guy named Pooh." Guilty. That was an incredible episode, man. I appreciate you for showing up for that one because that one, and you kept my jaw on the floor for that episode. It was just such a great one. All right, we got a turnover. Nick Richards is in. All right. What is your thought on Bobby D? Like overall, what do you think?
I mean, I'm rooting for the guy. Similar to what I just said about Cam Reddish. I'm never going to root for a young guy to just flunk out of the league. Like these guys are trying to chase dreams, and that's commendable. But I just don't see it, man. He's so small, and it's not even a height thing. I know he's listed at 6'3". You heard Joel when he was on our pod. He said that man is not 6'3". He's like 6'1". But his
Mhm.
frame is just he's so skinny, and his arms appear to be kind of short too. Like I don't see the frame of an NBA player, but I really hope I'm wrong because when you see him in bursts, like his speed stands out. He's quick, he can get to his spots. It's going to be a long road for him, I think, to be an effective NBA player.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm like you. Like I'm rooting for the guy because like I never watch anybody with the intention like I want them to fail. Like I would never want anyone to fail, but um I don't know. It's just he's got I'm giving him benefit of the doubt because like I keep saying, and maybe I'm being a little too nice to him, but man's coming in with some pretty extreme circumstances. I mean, he's been in the league,
Yep.
one complete season, gets traded. We're in his second team. Like this roster makeup right now is very much a bro. I don't know how to even. It's like it's essentially just a mixed up Rubik's cube that we're trying to unscramble.
Yep.
So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I would like to see him with a year of chemistry and a set lineup because Lord only knows if this is going to be our lineup or see any of the returning faces for next year. So I want to see what he looks like next season before I really even gauge a real opinion. But right now, yeah, I like Bobby D. Bobby D is the man.
Yeah. Where do you stand on the roster? Because I think we have, what is it, 8 expiring contracts going into next year. Do you want to see like a whole new roster? Do you want to see 8 new faces here next year? Is there anybody you still want to keep around?
The thing is, like, I know this is kind of like a loaded question because Bulls fans are like very, very much divided on this, but I feel like we really haven't been given a fair enough sample size of the guys that I want to return. You know what I mean? Like Anthony
Right.
Simons and Jaden Ivey, we saw them for a couple games and um, they really didn't I shouldn't say Simons was missing a few shots. I mean, Jaden Ivey, you saw him, he started getting cryptic and pretty much
Mhm.
didn't believe, I mean, he pretty much, I don't know. I guess to make a short of a long story is I'd need to see them for more games before I make a decision who I want to go and who want to leave. Like as of right now, I'd say, keep Ivy, keep Simons. Again, I'm stressing I don't salary wise has got to work too, but I would keep Simons as a 6 man if he wants to come back as one with the right price, of course. I know that's not going to happen, but um, Ivy, I would love to see Ivy, even if he doesn't come back as that athletic guy that he used to be, just, just a quality player, shooter. Um,
I'm all the way. I'm kind of over the Jaden Ivey thing, man. And it's
you are?
not his game at all. It's his body language, dude. Like the guy
Mhm.
just, I get it. You're not playing right now, and you're new to the city and whatever. But like against the Grizzlies, Buzelis had that dunk where he bodied the guy, and everybody on the bench went crazy. And you can find the picture there. I think the Bulls put it on their page. It was like Lachlan standing up, and maybe Giddy standing up, and like the whole bench is standing up. And then in the background, there's Jaden Ivey sitting on the bench with his arms folded, looking like, he's sitting in 8th grade history class. Like he could not have been less concerned or less hyped with what happened. So I'm just, the body language stuff with him, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just playing armchair psychiatrist a little too much, but the attitude just seems to not be the best. I like guys who are hyped for their teammates. That's my thing. I like dudes who ride for their teammates. Like Javon Carter, he wasn't getting any playing time here. Shout out to him because he's capitalizing on minutes in Orlando right now. But that dude was the first guy off the bench, cheering everybody on,
Yep.
hyping people up. That's what you like to see.
And you know what's funny is like as much as people like, and granted, some of it was deserved, some of it was just expected. For this season, before he got traded, like anytime Javon Carter like got his number called, he came in and got you buckets,
Came
man.
in. Yep.
That's why I had that JC in case of emergency break glass. I heard Stacey
Yep.
King say it, and I heard him say, "Oh, in case of emergency break glass for Javon Carter." So I went ahead and made one, and I was just throwing around whenever the man got minutes. But anytime he stepped in, man, it was like he was ready to play, and he wasn't afraid to shoot the ball. So
Yep. What'd Stacy call him? Jiffy Pop? That's like the most
Jiffy Pop.
that's the perfect nickname for him because he's just ready to go.
Yep. Oh God, here.
So we got a little bit of an ugly game here right now. We're 23-10. It's shots just aren't dropping for the Bulls. You saw Trey Young a couple possessions ago. He got into the paint, just couldn't finish. Or not Trey Young, Trey Jones. And the Raptors, I mean, the Raptors they're playing Raptors basketball right now. They're hitting their open shots. They're moving without the ball. It's a stark dynamic between the Raptors and the Bulls when you look at the half court offenses.
Yeah, this is definitely one that I'm hoping that they start getting a little warm and start kind of taking notes on what Toronto's doing and adjust their game strategy accordingly.
Yep. As I was saying, that Colin Sexton had a very nice and one finish there. So
yes, he did.
Shout out to Sexton. He's give him his credit, man. I mean, the guy is playing for a new contract, whether that's in Chicago or somewhere else will remain to be seen. But he's playing for that new contract, man. He wants to get paid this offseason.
I mean, if he puts up the numbers like he did for us, I mean, coming off the bench, he's putting up some of these numbers, rightfully so, man. As much as I'd like to have him come back, okay, you asked me before, that's somebody I wouldn't mind seeing come back for the right price. I feel like early on in Chicago, Colin Sexton kind of got a bad rap, but I feel like it was kind of unfair because the dynamic of the team was just so off that how do you judge a player? How do you judge a player just based on that?
Right. He's a psychopath. I mean, the guy, you see him talking to himself, you see him, giving the middle finger to the rim. The guy, he's a true psychopath, and you need that on a team for sure. So if he's my only thing is this draft, if the Bulls fall outside of the top 4, and granted, I'm saying this as a guy who hasn't watched much college basketball. I've just been listening to a lot of podcasts, and we had Matt Babcock on the other week. So it just seems like if you're outside of the top 4, the best prospect that you're going to get is going to be a guard. So to me, if we draft another guard, if we go best player available and we get, Fleming or Acuff or any of these guards that Arizona kid that people are liking, then it's like, why would you bring back Colin Sexton or Anthony Simons into an already guard heavy lineup? Because we already got Giddey, we already got Trey Jones. So that's my thing is I think the draft is going to say a lot about which guys we're going to bring back.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good way. That's a good way to look at it because honestly, I feel like instead of going out and trying to get somebody, maybe draft a guy and build around him. Because I still think we're going to have a pretty decent pick this year. I don't know. I'm optimistic, man. I think this is the year the Bulls get a top 5 pick. I'm basing that off of 0 criteria, but I'm just optimistic.
I never have optimism for the lottery. Like when we fell to 4, the Patrick Williams year, I lost all optimism. And then last year, seeing the Mavericks get the number 1 pick, I was like, all right, abolish the lottery. Get this thing out of here. This is not working anymore. It's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. All right. We got a commercial break here. 26-13 Bulls. The Raptors, or I'm sorry, 26-13 Toronto. The Raptors have doubled the points that the Bulls have had right now.
Yep. It's ugly, man. Like I said, the Raptors are forcing the Bulls to play in the half court, and the Bulls are not responding.
Yeah. Do you think, okay, what do you think our strategy, do you think our strategy depends mostly on our pace? And that's what makes us big. So if a team plays can keep us in the half court, like that shuts us down completely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be one of those people who calls our strategy a gimmick, but it is very evident from. I mean, it's not just guys like me and you or Matt Peck that are saying it. Now you got players coming out and saying it. Like I would assume who said in Chicago, it's only layups or 3-pointers, nothing in between. Like Io's not just saying that to say it. He's not just making stuff up. So it's one of those things like that's the way they're playing right now. And when you have Josh Giddey on your team, I think Joel covered this when he was on with us. That's kind of the way you have to play because he's a very fast-paced, free-flowing, fast break type of player. He's not that good in the half court yet. That doesn't mean he can't be, but right now the half court is not his strength. So the pace that the Bulls play with is an example of Billy Donovan being a floor-raising coach because if he tried to run the same kind of offense that he ran with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine with this team, it would not work. We'd be like a 10-win team right now. So Billy Donovan, he's playing the cards he's dealt, and the cards he's dealt are forcing him to have this kind of style where it's get in the break, shoot as many threes as you can, play as fast as you can. That's Billy doing the best he can with what he's been served.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, I see Benny the Bull dressed up as Spider-Man right now.
Spider-Man? All right. Really, yeah. I don't know the correlation. I don't understand the reasoning, but all right, Benny.
Because do your thing. The new Spider-Man trailer dropped today for the new what's it called? Brand New Day.
You a Marvel guy? Okay. Yeah, I'm a huge comic book nerd, man. I've been reading comics since I was like 5 years old. That's part of my day, literally my morning routine. Every morning I wake up, I meditate for 5 minutes, I hop in my cold plunge, and then as I'm waking up with my coffee, I read a comic book. So there's 3 things that I like in this world, and it's Chicago Bulls basketball, MMA, and comic books. Those are my 3 things.
I'm trying to think. Man, what do I like? 3 things. I like like the Bulls. I like video editing. I like coffee. You mentioned coffee. Coffee's good, man. I like coffee.
Coffee is an adjustment for me, man. I was a 2 energy drink a day guy, and then about 2 weeks ago, the doctor told me stop that shit. So I had to become a coffee guy. He said, really? No more energy drinks. Yep. The acidity in them. The acidity of the energy drinks was like messing with my esophagus. And so, yeah, he told me, and this was an ear, nose, and throat specialist. So he was like, we're seeing this a lot. If you just cut out energy drinks, you stop drinking them, you're going to be good as new in like 4 weeks. So for all you guys out there who drink energy drinks, just be careful. Be careful.
Yeah. 30-17 with 56.4 left in the first in favor of the Toronto Raptors. Josh Giddey with a layup. Look at that.
We got to give a shout out to how do I pronounce this? Genwil Bolandres, 980. Fold the Brooklyn Nets, put them on a plane towards the sun. One of my best friends is a Brooklyn Nets fan, and me and him, we text every day about basketball, and a lot of our texts lately are just about the dark times that our franchises are in. So I know as a Nets fan, though, he does have optimism because they do have so many young guys. They had 5 rookies this year, and some of them popped a little bit, and then they got all those draft picks too. So it wouldn't be the craziest thing if the Nets turn this thing around. They get the number 1 pick, they get one of these kids we're hyping up. Don't sleep on the Nets.
No. You want to hear something embarrassing though? So today at work we watch WGN all the time, man. It's like the unwritten. You watch WGN. That's what we do. It's a Chicago news station. And I look up and there was NBA players like trying to crack an egg with their bicep. And it was the Brooklyn Nets. But I had no idea one player on that. That's the Nets. I'm like, I don't recognize anybody on that. Like I was expecting, MPJ, Claxton, but like no one.
Scotty didn't even get MPJ on there?
No, it was just like the young kids. The Nets need to move back to New Jersey. Man, I'm a purist. I would love that. Like
I agree with that. I hated the move to Brooklyn.
Oh yeah. Who was it? The Jay-Z movement back to Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think they thought that moving to Brooklyn would help them get LeBron or something like that. Like, because they did it. Didn't they do it the year? Like they announced they were going to do it that big summer. So they thought that maybe that'd be like a recruiting tool for them. Then they actually moved like a year later, I think.
Let me see here. So
But I
they
mean, New York
moved a
belongs
year
to the
later.
Knicks, so yeah, New York belongs to the Knicks. Go back to Jersey. Same thing. I think the Clippers should move out of LA. LA is a Laker town. Move somewhere else. Like
San
I don't
Diego.
know where. Yeah, move to San Diego. Be the San Diego Clippers. Do something.
Yeah. Honestly speaking, like I'm a and sorry, Josh Giddey just heaved one full court and I got a little
Yep.
excited. Um, honestly, I'm a purist, so like when it comes down to basketball, like I miss like when we had the Charlotte Bobcats and the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm like, that's not right. Like it doesn't look right at all. Like the Brooklyn Nets, like I still to this day say New Jersey Nets, and it just feels that much better. Actually, while we got a commercial break in the end of the first, 32-20 in favor of the Toronto Raptors. What do you think of this recent news about NBA expansion?
So it's kind of overdue in some senses. Like Seattle obviously needs a team. I'm not as on board with Vegas needing a team, and I'm really interested in how they do this because if you look at the history of expansion in the NBA, these teams are terrible for like 10 years. The only two cases they weren't were the Magic. They got lucky with a Shaq pick, I think 2 years into their team history. And the Hornets that same year, they got Alonzo Mourning, and that kind of turned them around. But like the Timberwolves were terrible for like 10 years. The Raptors were horrible. The Grizzlies were so bad they had to move to Memphis before they ever made the playoffs. The Bobcats were terrible for years. So if you're putting a team in Vegas, you might have to change the rules a little bit, or you might have to do something to try to get a star player there as quick as possible. Because what would be the point of having a team in Vegas that's going to be like what the Charlotte Bobcats were for most of the 2000s? So it's something that has been a long time coming, but I don't know. Did you hear Tracy McGrady today? He had a really interesting take on it where he said the NBA is not talented enough right now to do expansion. Like he said, there's no need for it. Like you look, he kind of has a point because it's a top heavy league. Like the Spurs and the Thunder and the Celtics, they have really good rosters. But then you look at like the Nets that we were just talking about, we can't name more than four guys on them, or the Wizards are playing guys I've never heard of before. They're playing Angel Reese's brother, who I didn't even know was an NBA player up until I was watching their game the other day. So it's
Yeah,
interesting.
Juju.
These teams are just Juju, but these teams, man, I feel for Seattle fans because you get the Thunder or the Sonics taken from you as soon as you get Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and now they're going to bring basketball back to you, but it's going to be a team full of guys nobody wants because teams are allowed to protect 8 guys in this expansion draft. So I don't know, man. It'd be rough to be a Seattle fan.
So it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. Like my second team I should say, the Seattle
Was
Supersonics. If Scotty B is still in the chat, which I'm sure he is, he'll attest to this. Like I absolutely abhor the fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder won a championship when because I was like I said, I was a big Thunder fan. Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Detlef Schrempf, Sam Perkins, like Xavier
Yep.
McDaniels, like dude, those were forces to be reckoned with back in the day. So the fact that yeah, they had their peak in the 90s, and then they drafted Kevin Durant, and we're looking on the up and up, and then they were met with well, now you guys are moving to Oklahoma, and
Yep.
now so I refuse to acknowledge that Oklahoma City is Seattle. More of the story is. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Seattle basketball back.
The Thunder straight up stole the Sonics too. I don't know if there's a podcast, I think The Ringer did it a while back, called Sonic Boom, that covered it all. And basically what happened is the guy who was selling the Sonics was selling it to an ownership group, and the ownership group was led by this guy who convinced him, I love Seattle, I'm going to keep the team in Seattle. As soon as he agreed to sell, that guy wasn't part of the ownership group anymore, and Clay Bennett took over and moved him to Oklahoma City. So they straight up got stolen. If I was a Seattle Supersonics fan, I would never forgive the NBA for doing that to me.
Absolutely. There's actually a good movie. It was called Sonic's Gate. Well, it's a documentary, but I watched it when I was, younger, and it just made you hate the owner that much
Yep.
more.
Yep.
Yabubu hits free throw 2 of 2 to make it a 35-22. Bulls down by 13, 10:44 left in the second.
We still got Andres in the chat saying he's not watching, but guessing Scotty Barnes going for a triple double. Right now, he's only at 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. So he's got to pick up the playmaking a little bit. But knowing Scotty Barnes, he's gonna get there eventually. That guy's been really good this year, and I feel like nobody's talking about it.
Scotty Barnes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Even when I was rifling off those players earlier, I totally left out Scotty Barnes. Like, man's an all-star.
Yep. I did a list like a week ago, and I just did 10 wings that are 25 and under, and I just told people to rank them 1 through 10. And for me, Scotty Barnes was number 1 on that list, and nobody put Scotty Barnes number 1 at that list. There were people where I was like, wait, you have Scotty Barnes 8th? Like, do you watch the Raptors? This guy, he's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year this year. He's getting almost 20 points a game. He's doing all the playmaking. Like, he's to answer, we got Andres in the chat again. Scotty Barnes or Jalen Johnson, two my favorite guys to watch this year. I'm still taking Scotty Barnes because of the defense. Jalen Johnson is awesome. He doesn't play a lick of defense though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Scotty as well. And there he was on the dot. Scotty Barnes, 2-point shot.
Yeah, making things happen.
And
it's he's guarding Modest too, which is this is like what I want to see. I want to see the other team put their best, most physical defender on Modest because that's the only way he's going to learn and get better.
Exactly. All right.
Speaking of Jalen Johnson, did you see that game he had the other day where it was like 24 points, 15 rebounds, 13 assists?
Stat sheet stuff for damn, man.
Since they turned the team over to him, man, he's looking nice.
And he missed the first one. Was that Jacoby Walker? Jacoby Walter.
Yep. Raptor fans are very high on that guy.
The Raptors do look good tonight. They sure do.
Yes, they do. Sure do. I would say against the Chicago Bulls defense, it's maybe a little easier to look good than against some other defenses in the NBA. But hey, no, not taking anything away from the Raptors. They're a damn good basketball team.
Yeah. And again, it's also, saying, they deserve more credit than they've been getting, because I feel like the Raptors kind of quietly snuck in there and became amongst the tops of the teams in the East. I'm actually going to be looking forward to watching them in the playoffs.
Yeah, right now, the way the standings are right now, it would be Cavs Raptors for the 4-5. That would be a very interesting and compelling series in the East. And yeah, the Raptors, they kind of snuck out of nowhere because last year they were terrible. Last year they were a tanking team last year. Like, people are mad at the Jazz this year. I remember a game against the Bulls last year at the end of the year where they played all their starters, and then in the fourth quarter they benched all their starters, and they were up after the third and they benched all their starters to go on and lose the game. The Raptors did that a bunch last year. People are mad at the Jazz, but the Raptors kind of laid that blueprint last year. We'll still play our guys, but not when the game actually matters.
Yep. Modest. 40-26 Toronto Raptors. 9:04 left in the second.
Hey, it could be worse. So it looks like the Nets are down 60-24 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. That is, man, you talk about dark times. That's dark times.
Jeez. That's another breed, man. The Thunder, just another breed. It's still scary how good that team is. Yeah, they're the NBA champions, but watch the games. Yep. It's scary how that team operates, man. And the fact that they have 13, 14 picks over the next, 6 years. Like, I think we were talking about it on the episode with Joel, man. This team could mess around, win the championship, and get a first overall pick. Minimal chance, but it can happen.
Yep. I mean, it's like Joel said, man, they win on the margins. Like, every Oklahoma City game I watch, I just end up getting frustrated because you just look at them and you're like, they are so stacked, and they get the guys that are perfect for their system. So even if SGA misses time or Chet misses time or Jalen Williams has barely played this year, they just plug somebody in and they keep going. Like, they got Jared McCain for what's going to be like the 28th pick in this year's draft. That's insane. I don't know why more teams weren't bidding on Jared McCain if that was the going price for him.
What's funny is I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of teams just saw that injury and then wrote him off. It's like, hey man, this guy could still play. He had a pretty bad injury, took him out for the season, but they forgot about the games he played before that injury. That he looked really, really good. I mean, he had a case for rookie of the year. I mean, he was playing out of this world.
Yeah, he was the front runner for rookie of the year before he got hurt last year. So that's a lot of teams just overthinking it. And I'm still not sure what Philadelphia was doing because you got Tyrese Maxey, you got VJ Edgecombe. Why can't Jared McCain be the third guard in that? And we got to give a shout out to Modest. He just hit 2 straight threes, forcing the Raptors to take a timeout here. Gotta love it. Love seeing Modest. When I talk about Modest's shot profile, I'm never mad at those shots where he's wide open and he's pulling it with no hesitation. Never mad at those. Mad at the ones where he dribbles into a three and it feels more like he's settling for a three rather than attacking the paint.
Yes, absolutely. And we get
Bulls kind of made it a game here, made it a little comeback within 10.
Yeah. With that timeout, 42-32 Bulls with 8-11. Or I'm sorry, 42-32. I got to stop doing that, dadgummit. I keep saying it. 42-32 Toronto, wishful thinking there, with 8-11 left in the second. At halftime, we'll break down kind of what we saw, give you some stats, and as well as if they can turn it around for next half.
Yep. Bringing up that the Sixers got Quentin Grimes. That's why they let McCain go. Yeah, I would just 10 times out of 10 rather have McCain than Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes, nice player, but I'm going to take Jared McCain every time.
Yeah. Was that? Oh, because old man Lowry. Man, Kyle Lowry is just like that guy in the league. Like almost every team has had one where it's like that old veteran that people just hang on to because they're either a good locker room presence or, he just has good ties to the team. Like, Mike Conley in Minnesota, Donis Haslem on the Heat,
Taj Gibson, we just saw him the other night.
All right, stay with me now. Would you be open to, for the right price, obviously, I'm not saying go out there and spend the bank on him, but like, would you be open to a Taj Gibson reunion with the Bulls to just kind of mentor the new regime or just to be that locker room guy?
Absolutely. I've been calling for that forever. Like when Joakim Noah was signing contracts with the Grizzlies and the Clippers, I was like, bring him back, like bring him home, let him retire here. Same thing with Luol Deng when he was signing contracts with the Timberwolves and, winding down his career. I was like, these guys were your culture setters the last time your team actually meant anything. Bring them back, let them kind of relay that culture because we want to have these young guys, but we always seem to forget that with the vets, it's not the encore production. It's teaching these young guys how to be professionals. Like the Grizzlies, if they would have had a Taj Gibson in that locker room 3-4 years ago, they'd be a totally different team right now. I guarantee you a Taj Gibson in that locker room would have changed the way that John Morant carries himself. So I don't think we put enough value in the intangibles and the things that we can't measure that a guy will have, the impact a guy will have on a locker room like that.
Bring Derrick Jones Jr. back, man. I loved Derrick Jones Jr.
Yep.
I really enjoyed having Derrick Jones Jr. on the team. What's funny is when we had Julian Phillips, I saw a lot of Derrick Jones Jr. in Julian Phillips. Like, dare I say it, that was like a younger carbon copy. Similar game.
Yep.
Tremendous dunks, can hit the outside shot. Obviously, I'm not saying that he was up to the level of skill as a Derrick Jones Jr., but I feel like that could have been a very good comparison.
Man, Brandon Ingram is just getting buckets on us at will. He's 5 for 5 with 11 points. That guy. Oof.
Now that we're answering your question right now. Can we slow down Brandon Ingram? No.
No.
There you go.
Nobody can. Like, how tall is Brandon Ingram? 6'9", 6'10". He can get his shot off whenever he wants. Like, good. When that guy's feeling it, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Bobby D just hit him with that Yuki turnaround.
Yeah. Bobby D's making some things happen, man.
So I'm saying, man, some players just need time. Like, I've seen a lot of negative comparisons, and it's like I saw there a week or so back, they were comparing Bobby D to Marcus Teague. It's like because they were both super fast and super but they just didn't know what to do with the ball because they're so fast for their own good. And it's like, man, it's kind of unfair, like let that man develop.
Yeah, I can't hear the name Marquise Teague without getting mad. It's just because I'll never forget that after that draft, it came out that Tibbs was pushing hard for Draymond Green And Garpax was like, nah, we want Marquise Teague. Like, would Draymond Green have become Draymond Green in Chicago? Probably not. He probably wouldn't have been the player that he became with the Warriors. He definitely needed Stephen Clay, but the guy was a defensive wizard. At Michigan State, he played a lot of three. He even brought the ball up for them. Like, he would have been a totally different player with the Bulls, and he would have fit into the culture there. So,
absolutely.
got
Because as you know,
another
Tibbs
one in the
thrived
chat.
on to looking back.
Oh, he would have loved Draymond Green, man. Tibbs would have loved him. What do you make of the BI trade? Looking back, what did they even trade for BI? Wasn't it like
I'd have to look.
I think it was like Bruce Brown's expiring contract and maybe a highly protected first. It might have been a couple seconds. They might have just got him for free.
They traded Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a 2026 first-round pick, and a 2031 second-round pick. I mean, looking at it like that.
So it's this year's first, which is going to be like 24 or 23, and two guys who aren't on the Pelicans anymore, two expiring contracts. So you got Brandon Ingram for free. That's a good bit of business there by the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah. Was Stevie V says Brandon Ingram can score mid-range, but the knock on him is his willingness to defend. Yeah. I mean, some players, like, you're not going to get both of it. Some players you're going to get 30 a night, but you're also not going to get any D. You know, some players you're going to get a lot of D and you're not going to get a lot of, you know, you're going to get under 10 points. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. There's going to be a sound clip of old Bass saying that. I mean, I caught myself after saying that. There's going to be a sound clip of me floating around the internet saying some players get a lot of D.
Yep. I thought about throwing a pause in there, but I was just going to let you keep going. Man, Trey Jones is making some plays tonight, though. Whenever I watch him, there's a lot of debate because I don't know which podcaster said it, but one of the bigger Chicago podcasters says that Trey Jones is the best point guard on the team. So, of course, Giddy fans get mad at him. And, I mean, I don't know, man. Trey Jones is just the definition of a floor general to me. Like, I know he's never going to have the gaudy assist numbers Josh Giddey has, but, like, you watch him in the game and you're like, he just knows how to manage the game. He knows how to manage the pace. He knows when certain guys haven't had a shot in a while and need a touch. Like, he's a floor general. He's an old school player.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that because I've been saying it all year. I mean, Trey Jones is quite possibly a top 5 or top 3 backup point guard in the league. And I mean, I can see where people are, you know, he's the best point guard on the team. I mean, where I do see that, obviously Giddey puts up the stats, and I'm not saying, but Trey Jones, man, he just moves. Like I said, he is a floor general. You were saying, I love that Trey Jones trade. All right, revisiting that. Sorry, I was distracted by that. I saw Wingstops and old Bass was licking his chops. Looking back on it, man, I love that trade. Minus maybe the Zach Collins acquisition because, you know, he played 10 games this season. You know, I loved acquiring Trey Jones. Trey Jones has been an actual point guard, something that the Bulls haven't seen since a healthy Lonzo. You know what I mean? Like that, he's been doing phenomenal for us. But what's messed up is
my question to you though, Sal, not to interrupt you, just question for you. Do you honestly think that AK was targeting Trey Jones in that trade, or do you think it was kind of like this Leonard Miller thing where he just stumbled ass backwards into him?
No, truthfully, I think that entire trade for Zach LaVine trade revolved around Kevin Huerter because, as you know, the year before we tried to unload him on the Kings, and Kevin Huerter's name was always thrown into the hat. But for whatever reason, either they didn't want to give up Kevin, and that's what broke the trades down allegedly. But it seems like that entire trade revolved around Kevin Huerter, which is kind of sad because then almost the next season we ship him off to Detroit, you know. But luckily, I mean, we got Trey out of the deal. And I'm still a huge Zach Collins fan. It's just it's kind of off-putting that, you know, he's played 10 games this season. He's already getting injured, you know.
That's his career, though. You look at his games played in his career everywhere he goes. Portland, San Antonio, now Chicago. Like the guy, I mean, we see guys like this, especially big guys. They can't get out of their own way. They can't stay healthy. You mentioned earlier the best point guards in the NBA. That's an interesting list. trying to think like who would be on that. Obviously, you got AJ Mitchell and OKC, and
Mhm.
then it's like, I
Pritchard.
mean, we can call Kobe White a backup point guard now. He's a backup point guard for Charlotte. He's up there for
Yeah.
sure.
Let me see here.
Pritchard, you
for
mentioned
sure.
he's got to be in
Yeah.
there for sure. Man, there might just
Let me
not be that
see.
many good backup point guards in
Tyus
the NBA.
Jones, Ty Jerome, Monty
Ty
Morris.
Jones been hurt all year. Tyus Jones has been garbage all year. I love Tyus Jones. I live like 2 blocks away from where he grew up. Love the Jones brothers, but it's been rough watching Tyus Jones this year, man. It hasn't been pretty. I think he's on his 3rd or 4th team this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That man is just Trey Jones. Trey Jones, for all intents and purposes, could go on teams and start.
Yep.
No question about it. No question
Yep.
about it. Scotty B
Here we
with a
go.
question. Scotty B, thanks for sticking around. What do you got here? Do you guys think that the Bulls can be successful with Modest and Giddey being their best 2 players, or do they need someone else to be their number 1 option? I'll let you take that one if you want to. Do you want to go first, or do you want me?
I mean, I feel like I've been pretty open about this. They need a number 1 elite option now. I will say I was 100% convinced of this, and Modest Buzelis has started the process of maybe changing my mind a little bit. I didn't think he had that alpha dog in him to take, 18 to 25 shots a night, because we talk all the time. We get so mad when, Modest has 10 shots or 12 shots or whatever. We never take into account that the fact that just putting up shots, just creating looks for yourself, whether they go in or not, is a skill in and of itself and takes a certain mindset. So Modest has shown that mindset. He's shown a lot of growth. So I'm starting to maybe consider that he could be the number 1 option on a successful team, but I still think we need a true number 1 guy. Like if we're going to talk about when will the Bulls win a championship again? I don't think our best player on that future championship team is on the team right now.
I like that statement. Beforehand. 58-41 in the favor of the Toronto Raptors with 4:16 left of the second. My answer is this. They need somebody. I mean, we're like you said, Modest has been kind of coming out of his shell and kind of emerging as he can be that guy. I mean, he's played a couple of great games. His last game was incredible. He just dropped a 41-pointer not that long ago. I still think this team needs help more than and by number 1, like, do you need like a best player on the team? Like, you need the number 1 to be the number 1 scoring option, or just like the best player on the team? Like, because they need somebody.
I mean,
they need help other than just those 2, because the team around them it's yet to be finalized. Like it's a tryout right now. Like they need a lot more than just one other guy. But if you talk about going for success in the future, you definitely need another guy.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, when you said, do you need your number 1 to also be your number 1 scoring option? I mean, I can't think of a number 1 on a team who's not the number 1 scoring option. Like Nikola Jokic is the greatest playmaking big man we've ever seen. He's still the number 1 scoring option on that team. Luka, SGA, like, I really can't think of a number 1 on a successful team that isn't that team's primary scoring option at the same time.
Would you just for question? Would you say would you say it's Giddey right now?
Giddey's our number 1 scoring option.
So we're the exception team.
Yeah. I mean, because Giddey, it's interesting because Giddey definitely has the longest leash on the team right now. I think that's safe to say. Like, I don't think there's anything Josh Giddey could do in a game right now that would get him benched. And so if he wanted to, he could take 20, 25 shots. But that's just not his game. That's not his makeup. So yeah, I guess we would be the exception where our best player, Josh Giddey, is not our number 1 scoring option. Right now, I think it's pretty evident that Modest Buzelis is our number 1 scoring option.
Facts. Absolutely. And I think it's and then our other scoring options right now are hurt. All
Colin
right.
Sexton.
Yep. Oh, yeah, Colin, yeah. I got 2 questions. First is, if you were the GM of one of the expansion teams, how would you go about it? And second, why is it Doc Rivers?
I don't know what Doc has to do with Doc. Doc is not something I would be doing if I was a GM of an expansion team. I would,
no.
Like, Doc Rivers, really, really good NBA personality. Love him when I hear him on podcasts, when he used to do the ABC play-by-plays. Never in the history of sports has a coach been propped up by one ring more than Doc Rivers. That man,
Absolutely.
his one ring in '08 has carried him to 20 more years in the NBA coaching, and everywhere he goes, they flame out. So, no, if I ran an expansion team, I would not be hiring Doc Rivers.
No. But see here, to answer your question. But to answer your question, like, what am I doing if I'm a GM of an expansion team? Like we mentioned, the aforementioned the Charlotte Bobcats, like we've had some pretty lousy expansion teams. So if I'm a GM of one of those expansion teams, let's just say Seattle, because I mentioned how I was a big Seattle fan. Given that they have history in Seattle, if I'm the GM of Seattle, let's say I'm speaking as if that's the team that they're getting. I'm coming out swinging the first day. I'm trying to get fans engaged. I'm trying to get the best possible players, not just players that people know, the best possible players. I'd promote the heck out of my team. I would have discount tickets to fill the stadiums. I mean, obviously not giving away for free, but you'd have to take a sacrifice on ticket prices just to fill the stadiums. And then I would establish a standard, and I wouldn't dip below that standard. I feel like all too often, GMs or I'm sorry, well, I guess I said GM. That's more of an ownership thing, but I'll loop them together.
If I was the GM of one of the expansion teams in the expansion draft, I would not go for the best players available. I would go for the cheapest players available. I would make sure that I had the most cap space available. And then I would follow the Oklahoma City Thunder blueprint where I would trade for your bad contracts as long as you gave me draft picks. I would stockpile that draft pick cupboard because that's the only way I'm getting a franchise changing talent is getting lucky in the draft. So that's what I would do. I would just follow what Sam Presti does. I would honestly just ask Sam Presti if I could shadow him for like 3 months and just pick up on all his traits because that guy, what he did with the Thunder is nothing short of amazing.
Man, Sam Presti's like, you ever play Monopoly and there's always that one guy that's like the king of bargaining? Sam Presti is like that guy, man. Like in Monopoly, when someone just fleeces you on every single trade and he's got like every single property while you're sitting there with just Baltic and nothing else. Like,
yeah, that's like it's to the point where you see teams trade with him and you're like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to lose this trade. Nobody, I can't think of a single trade that the Thunder lost in the last 5 years.
No, yeah. Because I mean, even the trade that we made that people are still saying that we won or we lost is like, I think that was just the most evenly matched trade. Like that was one of the most fair trades ever. I mean, minus draft picks excluded, because I know everyone wanted draft picks in there, but if you're talking player for player, we got something we needed. They got something they needed. So
yeah, they got a title out of it. So anybody saying that the Thunder lost that trade or like, if you want to say it's even, that's cool. I'll accept that. I might disagree, but I'll accept it. But if you think the Thunder lost that trade when they got a title, no way. And Caruso had what, 2 20-point games in the finals? There's no way.
Oh, Trey Jones. That would have went in, man. Trey Jones, that was smooth. Man. I wanted that to go in.
I like watching Trey Jones play basketball, man.
It's like, man, like I saw it a lot with Io, man. Io didn't have the flashiest plays. He just had good fundamental plays. And I love that, man. That's my style of basketball. I don't need the flash. Just give me good fundamental plays. Get to the cup and just put it in the cup. You don't. All right. Would you go experienced coach back to the GM? Would you go experienced coach or up and coming? Of a new franchise. See, here's the thing. Like, would I go an experienced coach? This is just my personal opinion. I don't really want somebody else's failed experiment. I know it does work out, but I want somebody's assistant coach on a successful franchise. Like, just to give you an example, like, was it Jerry Stackhouse on the Warriors?
Jerry Stackhouse on the Warriors. Yep, I was going to name him.
Yeah, I mean he is a assistant coach on a successful franchise. People are forgetting that when coaches gets fired, it's usually get fired for a reason. So I don't want to gamble, especially on a new franchise, on somebody else's leftovers or somebody else's failed project. I want the next guy. I want to be the guy that the franchise to host the next best coach in the NBA.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going young. I look at like Sam Cassell in Boston. I've said his name a million times in coaching stuff. Don't know how he hasn't gotten a shot yet. Mike Anori in Minnesota. He's another assistant. Oh my God. If Modest would have finished that dunk, man, I just the way that he just tries to take people's heads off, man. Oh my God.
See, that's something that, man, people need to respect about Modest is he's not looking to score points. He's looking for blood, man.
Yep. He'll take your head off.
And right on cue, another Trey Jones, just good old fashioned drive.
Yep. That's what he does. He just,
final minute.
I guess I haven't really looked. What are we getting from Giddey in this game so far? Are we on triple double watch with Giddey?
I think I was so invested in that conversation about being the GM of Seattle that I didn't even
we are not on triple double watch. It is 5 points, 0 rebounds, and 1 assist. We are not on triple double watch. March Giddey, as I like to affectionately call him, has not shown up today.
Not yet. And actually it's kind of embarrassing. It looks we have no Bulls players in double figures right now.
Yeah, our leading scorer is Modest with 9. Sexton has 8 off the bench. And then you look at the Raptors. Ingram has 13. Barnes has 13. Portal has 9. Barrett has 14. Quickly has 10. Walker has 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no wonder it's 72-45.
Put it up. Like what are you doing? All right. So that is the buzzer of halftime. 72-45 in favor once again of the Toronto Raptors. While we have the floor here for halftime, if you do enjoy what you see and you want to see more of us, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to follow us on our socials, we have our handles listed below. I personally don't have my own handles just because I don't do social media. My handle is the handle for my secondary show. So
yeah, Horns Over Hoops. Make sure you guys check out the episodes. I thought the episode you did with Troy was fantastic. You guys were getting like some Lincoln Park talk in there, some Australia talk in there. Like that's cool. I like when podcasts do that. Like, yeah, we're here to talk Bulls, but let's talk other stuff too. It doesn't just have to be the Chicago Bulls all the time.
Yeah. Well, the funny part is like, and if Scotty B, if he's still in the chat, he'll attest to it. Like one of the things I mentioned on that Troy episode is me and my friends, we used to just talk in Linkin Park lyrics. Like in the end, doesn't even matter. Like, you know, we used to just any Linkin Park song that we can turn into just general chat. It was just inside joke we had. So when I heard that he was potentially going to see them, I'm like, man, right on, because I wanted to go see them when they were, I forgot where they played. If it wasn't Soldier Field. Anyway, they were in Chicago and I wanted to go see them, but that would have coincided with the birth of my second son. I think that would have been a big no,
Yep.
So
yeah, I'm not the biggest Linkin Park fan. My wife, I wonder if she can hear me as I'm recording this. I'm just upstairs in a spare bedroom. She might be able to hear this, but there's a funny story where she likes Linkin Park, so she was playing it in the car. And she's singing along, and she's playing Numb, and she starts singing, and instead of Numb, she says Hard, and I stop her, and I'm like, baby, do you think he's singing about how hard he's become? She's like, yeah, that's the words. I've become so hard, and I was like, no, I don't even listen to Linkin Park. I know that this man's not singing about how hard he's become. So that's like my Linkin Park experience is just her singing the lyrics and me being like, that's not what that song's about at all.
And it's always fun when people like, you know, they think they hear like the misheard lyrics, like, and people just sing what they think that they said. And then somebody who knows is like, what are you saying?
Yeah. You just got to go with it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, if you're in the chat, drop by and say hello, ask us a question. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. We are at halftime, though, 72-45, as mentioned earlier. So we're going to break down some of the stats and going forward and kind of what to expect in the third and fourth quarter, which based on the score that it is, Bulls have a 27-point deficit. But
Yep.
stranger things have happened, ladies and gentlemen. So, what's one thing that really stood out to you, Justin, in this first half, besides just the torrential beatdown that we've been receiving?
I think the big difference in these teams is in the half court. I mean, I said it before the game, but you're seeing, in the half court, Brandon Ingram, he's creating great shots for himself. He's playing the mismatches, playing the switches. RJ Barrett creating great shots for himself in the half court. The Chicago Bulls, they're being forced to play in the half court and they're not creating great shots. They also don't, I mean, is there anybody on the Chicago Bulls that you would consider even an above average shot creator in the half court? Because I straight up don't think they have one on the team. Like Modest Buzelis he's going to get there someday, but right now that is just not a strength of his game. So it's hard for the Bulls right now.
Yeah, currently I would say no. I mean, again, maybe Jaden Ivey or Anthony Simons when they come back, but not even. I would say your closest bet is going to be Modest when he gets there.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
and then
agree with
the I was just gonna say the other difference too is the Raptors' defensive rotations are on point. They're rarely out of position. If somebody gets beat, the right guy rotates and the other guy pre-rotates. Like it's hard to find any room against them. They're one of the better defensive teams in the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah, that used to be like our Achilles heel, man, getting beat off the switch. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm speaking more back when we had like in the Vooch era, earlier in the season, but that was one thing that the Bulls just could not figure out was how to not get beat off of the switch. There's another reference for you. But the one thing that stood out to me though right now is I'm staring at the box score. The Bulls are shooting 15 of 39 for a measly 38.5% field goal percentage, where the Toronto Raptors are shooting 27 for 45, 60% from the field. That's insane. Bulls are 6 from 18 from beyond the arc for a 33 average, and the Toronto Raptors are sitting at even 50%, 8 for 16.
Man,
I'm looking at let me actually turnovers. The Bulls have 11 turnovers, which was good for 20 Toronto Raptor points. I shouldn't be laughing at this, but it's turnovers has been our breaking point all season.
It's our Achilles heel all season. Like even when Kobe was here, he was turning it over 3-4 times a game. Josh Giddey turns it over 3, 4, 5 times a game. Io even had some turnover issues before he got traded. Modest has had kind of a sloppy handle at times too, leading to turnovers. It's the Bulls' biggest downfall is it's great to play with pace, but when you play with pace and you're careless with the ball, those are two things that are not going to come out in your favor too often.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. Like, the Bulls always took pride on the pace. Like, not to reiterate you, but like, I heard it all too many times. Like, oh, we're leading in pace. We're leading in pace. We're leading in this imaginary stat called pace. That like, I don't know if you ever looked at how you calculate pace. Like, it's an insane formula to calculate pace. And yeah, the Bulls we run fast. We should.
Yep.
Our team is all 20-year-olds. Like we should be running fast. Like we should be getting up the court quick. But what good is pace when you're going up the court, dribbling off your foot or passing it to the other player? The only thing we were doing is giving the other team the ball back that much quicker. You know what I mean? I equate it to like, what's the point of owning a Ferrari if you can't drive stick shift? What's the point of driving what's the point of having a fast-paced team when you're just going to turn the ball over? You know what I mean? When you could just slow down the game, let the game come to you, and maybe take better, think pace will come with time. I guess I'm saying pace will come with time. Just slow the game down. I mean, that's just me. That's because I come from an era of basketball that was played in the half court, like heavy defense, back to the basketball.
And I think that's what we're talking about when you hear people say like we want to see more mid-range jump shots out of the Chicago Bulls. Like we're sick of the 3-pointers or layups or nothing kind of gimmick that they play with. It's not that we're asking for Modest Buzelis to take 10 mid-range jump shots a game. It's just have that versatility, give the defense something else to think about, because games like this where a team is forcing you into the half court. This is what playoff basketball is. Like regular season basketball is one thing. In the playoffs, physicality gets ratcheted up. The possessions slow down. It becomes more of a grind. You need somebody who can create in the half court and can get a mid-range jump shot. So that's the thing is like, yeah, we're saying like this is good for Modest's development, that he can take as many shots as he wants. But if the end game is ultimately to be a playoff team, then maybe you should get him used to, what you're going to actually have to do when you're a playoff team.
Mm-hmm. It's another reason why I don't like losing environments, is creating a losing environment, because when you create a losing environment, you're bestowing losing environment in losing mentality in these players' heads. And a player like Modest, where you're trying to develop him into becoming the next big thing, that's why I don't like tanking. I'm sorry. Like, I know no players, let me just be frank and say, no player is going to come out there with the intention to lose games on purpose. I'm even on the fence if there's coaches that go out there with the intention to lose basketball games, because they know that their job's on the line as well. So, but
Yeah.
when you create a negative atmosphere and a losing atmosphere, you could, for all intents and purposes, damage that player from any further development from the future. Alexander Moss said,
Look
Raptors are
at
too
the
fast-paced.
process Sixers. Like the process Sixers are a really good example of this, where they intentionally lost games for years and years and years. And at one point, they had a lot of talent, like Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, all these guys who, yes, they were talented, and the tanking to get these elite talents, it did work. But the fact that for the first, 2-3 years of their career, their development years, you taught them that the games don't matter, that we're trying to lose. They became losing basketball players. I'm sorry, Joel Embiid, he's never had playoff success. And at this point, probably never going to have playoff success. Ben Simmons had the biggest fall off we've ever seen. And you can't convince me that both of those things aren't directly tied into the fact that their developmental years were intentionally trying to lose. So while I am pro tank in a sense, like I want us to get a high draft pick, I would never say that we should coach players to lose. I think that's insane. I've never said that. My thing is, like, I think I said the other night, I'm like, you could easily play Modest, Buzelis, Josh Giddey, your best players. You could play them the first 3 quarters and let them, play as hard as they want and play competitively and go for the win. And then in the fourth quarter of a game, where you're trying to lose down the stretch, then put Yuki in, put Mac McClung in, put some of the guys who don't get very much run in. If you're trying, that's an ethical way to tank in my eyes. And like you said, no player is ever going to go out there and try to lose games. That's just not what they're going to do.
Yeah. Plus, it's not practical. Like, granted, it gives you better odds, but what's the highest you can get? 14%, I believe. It's 14% is the worst team, and you're splitting it with the bottom 3 teams. Like, that's not that great. That's not super good of an odds. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to ever, and this is just me because I'm more of a spectator. I would never trade a season of progress for just a better chance of getting a decent pick. You know what I mean? Because then, all right, you spend all this time tanking, you spend all this time losing games. Now you got that first overall pick, and it just so happens that you're the team that drafts and the NBA's next bust, or it's a draft class where it's nobody really, there's no big names coming out of it. That whole season would have been for nothing.
And I think you're seeing teams start to be a little more strategic with that. Like the draft that we got Buzelis in, the Zachary Risase draft, people weren't tanking for that draft. They were just kind of letting the season play out. And then last year, the Cooper Flag draft, the VJ Edgecombe, Con Knipple, Dylan Harper draft, teams tanked their ass off at the end. Like it was some nasty work teams were doing because they knew it was loaded. This year, you're seeing the same thing because the top 4 that we have, it's all dynamite players. And the more that I'm learning about this draft, the more that I'm convinced that yes, the top 4 all have potential to be franchise changing players. But if you end up with a Fleming or a Cuff, like you're still going to get a very good player. So if you end up with the 9th pick, that's not a total loss. Where last year ending up with the 9th overall pick did kind of feel like a loss when you look at how good that top 4 was.
Yeah. And honestly, like you said, it is a good draft class. Where everyone wants, obviously, everyone wants a top 4 pick. I'm still personally going in for AJ. I think that dude's going to be insane. Like, I know you're a big Cam Boozer fan, and I'll be honest with you. I love Cam Boozer. You know, I like that his father's ties to Chicago. Like, I just love his overall play style. I wouldn't mind if the Bulls drafted Cam Boozer. I mean, I'm not too sold on Darren Peterson. I'm just not buying it.
Yeah.
Caleb Wilson, I would have loved Caleb Wilson. Would he break his thumb?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, who else?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a tragedy we don't get to see him in the tournament because he's the type of guy where, based on what people say about him, like he would have shown up to the tournament, he'd have played his ass off.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, to your point about the Risache draft, yeah, no one was tanking. Then you have a player like Cooper Flag, and you propagate this whole capture the flag, you know, capture the, you know, they made a whole, of course, teams are going to be gunning for it. But I want to ask you this before we get back into the third quarter. Third quarter is about to start right now. I asked this on my show. What do you think? Because I know it was a big issue a few months back where Adam Silver wanted to address the issues of tanking and yada yada. What do you think is the most fair way to handle teams tanking? Not so
Honestly,
much. Not so
I
much
think it's
favoring one team,
easier.
but fair.
Yeah, I
Easier?
think it's easier than people are making it out to be. So I think people have overthought this. I think you get rid of the lottery, do it like the NFL does, go by record, and then people will be like, "Well, then teams will just tank to be the worst team in the league year after year after year." Maybe they will. Doubt they will. Like if they do, then let's say the Spurs, let's say they get Wemby and then they tank for 3 years in a row to stack up good players to play with Wemby. Okay, now you have wasted Wemby's entire rookie scale contract. So there's pluses and minuses. Now, do away with the lottery and then put it in that if you get the number 1 pick, you can't get higher than number 4 for the next, I don't know, 2 years. So that's the I think it's way simpler than we're making it out to be. The lottery, what it's doing is it's rewarding teams who don't deserve to be rewarded. Like the Mavericks did not deserve to be rewarded last year. They made the dumbest trade in NBA history, and then they get rewarded with Cooper Flag. The Spurs did not deserve to get rewarded with Dylan Harper last year. They had Wemby on their team. They should have been better than they were. I realize he went out with an injury, but even when he played, they still were out of the play-in. They were still the 11 seed in the West when he went down with his injury last year. So in my eyes, they didn't deserve to jump to number 2 and get a Dylan Harper. The Sixers did not deserve to be rewarded last year with VJ Edgecombe and moving up in the draft like that. So all the lottery does is reward teams that don't deserve to be rewarded in my eyes. So it's just simple for me. Get rid of the lottery, do it by the standings. You'd have a more even dispersal of the talent too. Like Wemby would have ended up on the Hornets or the Wizards or the Nets. Like one of those teams would have got a star player in the last couple of drafts. So that's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. So this is now give me your tried and true honest opinion of this. It's not what I stand by. This is just if you want to address the issue of fairness. Okay. Because I like your idea. That's a great idea. Would it be what? Okay, I guess what's a way I can word this without the most people jumping down my throat and calling me blasphemous?
There's no way to do that, man. People are gonna this is social media era. Somebody's gonna jump down your throat
Yeah,
no matter what you say.
yeah. I say something positive, like you said it best. I say one thing positive, I get 2 likes. Second, I say something slightly negative. Everyone's starting to come at me. Would you argue that in order to handle fairness, you would say that every single team has the same odds in the lottery, and not in the lottery, in the draft? Like it's 32 teams, you each get, 1 ping pong ball. That's it. You know what I mean? Whether you win the title or you finish 0-82, you have the same odds.
See, to me, the point of the draft is to get the teams with the least talented players. So
Mhm.
if we do that, we lose sight of the point of the draft. Like at that point, you're gonna have a year where Oklahoma City wins the championship and gets the number 1 pick, or the Spurs get the number 1 pick, or the Celtics get Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and AJ. Like I don't like that at all, because to me, the point of the draft is to reward the team, or not to reward, but to get the good players to the teams that need them the most. To me, that's the point of the draft. And another thing that I forgot to mention in my little system of get rid of the lottery. If you get the number 1 pick, you fall to number 3 the next year at the highest. That's the absolute, or number 4 is the absolute highest. You can go get rid of pick protections or at least dramatically reduce them. Like you can protect a pick 1 through 3, and that's it. If you want to give up a first round pick for this player, give up the first round pick for this player. I'm so sick of these trades where it's like, well, if it falls between 1 and 5, we get to keep it. But also if it falls between 15 and 25, we get to keep it. Like get away with all that. It's too convoluted. Like you try to figure out what picks OKC has right now, and it's damn near impossible because of the protection. So that would be another thing that I would add in is get rid of the pick protections. We've gone too far with the pick protections.
Oh, did Giddey just get teed up? I mean, that was a good draw by Scotty B. Hey, the other Scotty B.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of flopping. I mean, unless Giddey is a lot stronger than I'm giving him credit for. I mean, I know he's a big dude, but Scotty Barnes is a big dude too.
Okay, he did not get teed up. I thought I saw her motioning. I thought, oh man,
we missed
an offensive foul the other way. Good.
Why not the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Have you heard of this kid? He's a white kid at Indiana State. His name's like Robbie something. He's like a white guy with goggles, and he plays center for Indiana State, and they call him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because he's got like he's just got a funny game. He's like one of those classic March Madness dudes.
Honestly, like I said, forgive me. Like this guy's probably a stud, and I'll be honest, I have not watched any college basketball outside of 5 or 6 BYU games, so I don't know the backstory of this guy.
Oh man, I just see him on social media every once in a while, and it cracks me up. And then we got, let's see,
Scotty
someone's going
B.
to get a steal. JT Toppin. I mean, if it's Obi's brother, does Obi Toppin have 2 brothers? Because I swear he had another little brother that was with the Knicks for a minute too. But I'd be cool with it. Obi Toppin is a freak athlete, so if this is his brother, I'm going to assume this guy's a freak athlete too. So
I was a big Obi Toppin fan for Indiana.
That's who I wanted in the Patrick Williams draft, man. I wanted Obi Toppin in the Patrick Williams draft. Not saying his career has been as good as I thought it was going to be. I really believed in the guy. I thought he was like a new version of Amari Stoudemire, and he hasn't lived up to that whatsoever. But his career has been way better than Patrick Williams.
So basing off of this, there is 3 brothers. He's Jacob Toppin. Jacob Toppin, Obi Toppin, and JT Toppin.
Okay.
Turns out they're not related. What? That's why you can't trust Google, man.
Yeah, the Google will lead you wrong.
Glad Scotty B is here to fact check. Man, Scotty B fact checks me on my show and on this one too, man. Scotty B, I'm going to tell him the story how we used to call you Snapple, because you know, like when you pop the top of the Snapple and you get like a random fact.
Yep.
At least once a recording with Scotty B, he has some random fact that's like, man, I didn't know that. Sometimes it's not basketball related, and it fucking Snapple.
I have a Snapple cap somewhere around here. I kept it. It's literally like 15 years old because I randomly bought it. And I opened it, and it said, LeBron James will never be better than Kobe Bryant. And I'm a diehard Kobe Bryant fan, so I was like, I'm keeping this for life. So it's sitting somewhere around here, but it just cracked me up that they printed that on a Snapple. LeBron James will never be better than Kobe Bryant. Yeah, it was on the cap. It was sweet.
I mean, Snapple said it, so it must be. Oh man, that was a good lob.
Yeah,
RJ Bear, that was a smooth lob. Can we just agree, man? Snapple apple was my favorite flavor. That was the best flavor.
I was a banana guy. I don't know what it was about the banana Snapple, but yeah, I liked the banana Snapple. And then you get a little bit older, you start mixing some vodka in there, and that kind of went to. There's anybody under 18 in here? Don't try that.
I mean, they had to know. I mean, we're on tap. This is, we have a beer tap as our logo, for crying out loud. Kids, drink responsibly.
Peck wants you to edit that video and have him finish the beer. By the way, he was He was like, "Why isn't the
Oh
beer being
yeah.
finished?" And I was like, "You're asking the wrong guy, bro."
Honestly, because so here's the thing. I know we live in an age where people aren't really happy with AI and stuff like that. So I'll just be real with you. I was getting sick and tired of putting in prompts for this thing. That was like my 10th prompt, and well, some of these websites like you only get like three, and then you have to
Mhm.
put in a new email address and then get three more chances and three more chances. So I went through four emails, and that was the best I got. So I'm like, all right, that's
Okay.
good enough at this point. He doesn't need to finish it. But
Honestly,
and
I never
actually,
noticed it until Peck pointed it out.
so what it was supposed to do, like the prompt was said, like throw it at the screen and break the screen. Did not
Oh.
do that. So yeah, that was that. Honestly, that was the hardest part of that intro was that because I'm so fast at CapCut now that like I can pump that. I mean, I spent a lot of time on that intro, but working that bull in. All right, we got 81-27 or 81-57 rather. And that was a
81-27
strong.
would have been.
Yeah,
Oof.
that's probably the score of that Brooklyn Nets game right now.
Yeah, man.
I know
Yeah,
who's
I
our
thought Scotty
resident
Barnes
New
was going to
Jersey Nets
finish
fan.
that.
Yeah, he went up strong though, like and on Jalen Smith too. Like that was a strong play. Oh man. See, See, that's how like you're like just a fan of good basketball. Like I would have loved for
Yep.
Scotty Barnes to finish that, regardless if he's doing it to my team. Like, man, that would have been a good play.
And we got so this comment right here. This is why the Thunder are so set up to win right now. Is one, Jared McCain has 2 more years left on his deal after this. So thinking that far ahead, they don't need to do that right now. And by the time he's up for his rookie extension, they could probably move off of Caruso. They could probably move off of Lou Dort. They can probably move off of Isaiah Hartenstein. And they have the draft picks in place that they can replace these guys. So that's a scary thing with the Thunder is you think that eventually they're going to run into the apron and they're going to run into all these problems. But if they put Lou Dort on the trade market right now, there's going to be teams that trade for him and, save the Oklahoma City Thunder because Lou Dort he's a winning basketball player. Same thing with Hartenstein. Same thing with Caruso. So they have the ability to just replace these role player guys and pay the ones they want to. If they don't want to pay Jared McCain, that's fine. They got 2 years of him and they're going to be competing for championships for the next 2 years. So that's why Sam Presti is just running laps around every general manager in the league right now.
Yeah, man. Like I said, what I wouldn't do to just like, can we borrow him for a year? Like, like just we'll give him back. Like, give him to for like a year. I want to see what he would do with this team.
It's like, do you
Uh
do you ever play 2K at all?
oh man, that I used to love 2K, but I had to stop playing. One, because it took up too much of my time, and three is I was starting to make my trades in real life based off of 2K.
Yeah. So it's like they did this thing a couple years ago where you can start your franchise mode in any era. So you can start it as
Yeah.
early as like 1983. And I would do that and I would build up these super teams. Like I'd get like Jordan and Shaq and just like all these teams. But eventually I would just get bored and then I would enter a rebuild and just blow it all up. So for Sam Presti, I'm like, oh, don't you just get bored, bro? Like, can you get bored and just come save the Chicago Bulls for like a year and then go back to being with the Thunder?
Yeah, man. While we're on 2K, like that's like quickly becoming my favorite feature because like one of my favorite eras that the Bulls were in um was the mid 2000s. So like I know you could start in the what is it, Magic and Bird, Jordan,
Yeah.
was it Kobe
Yeah.
and,
So I
and
believe
LeBron?
I believe you can start the season before the 84 draft, Jordan and Hakeem. That's the Magic Bird
Mhm,
era. And then the Jordan era, you're starting the season before the Shaq draft. So that's
mhm.
92. The Kobe era, you're starting the season before the LeBron draft. So that's 2002, you're starting in. And then the LeBron era, I think you're starting in 2010 when he went to the Heat.
Mhm. Yeah, I would always do the 2003 pick the
Mhm.
Bulls because I was like Yeah, it was, Jay Williams. Honestly, like this is gonna leave a sour taste in your mouth, but one of my favorite players that the Bulls had that I wish he would have played in to be his like full potential was Eddie Robinson, man.
Yeah, I don't. That's you named the rare player I have no thoughts on Eddie Robinson about because I was like 12 when they signed him, and I do remember like the buzz on him, and I saw highlights of him in a Hornets uniform dunking, and then just seeing him play, I was like, this guy kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah.
just a colossal disappointment.
Yeah, he was just more like an energy guy. Like I loved his high flying, like I mean, in the mid 2000s, we had like I should say before we didn't have any, but like who did we have on that team that was like a high flyer before he got there?
Nobody, absolutely
But
nobody. And then he got there, and from reading a lot of stuff since then, like it sounds like he was the consolation prize. Like they really chased Tracy McGrady hard that offseason, but he chose the Magic, so they ended up with Eddie Robinson. We got to give a shout out to Samity. He's in the chat. Good to have you in here, Samity.
Samity, man, love Samity,
And
man.
got a LeBron question here. Let you handle that one.
Scotty B again with the great question. Do you think LeBron will retire after next year to become part owner of the Vegas? Honestly, I don't see him retiring. No,
Yeah.
I think LeBron loves the game too much to retire. Well, I mean, after next year, yeah, probably after next year.
Okay.
But to become ownership of Vegas, I don't think so.
So let me just float this out there because right now it's illegal to own a team and play for a team. But if LeBron went to Adam Silver and said, "Hey, I will play for the new Las Vegas franchise, but I need to be a part owner at the same time," do you think Silver would say no? Because that would be one way to guarantee that Vegas team sells out right away their first season.
Oh man, that's a great question because certain players in the NBA, it's no secret they have the keys to the
Yep.
association. Man, there's no secret. Uh, I think there'd be Scotty B right there with it. I'm like, I think the stipulation would be that he'd have to take Bronny with him. But honestly, I don't I don't see why he wouldn't entertain the idea. I mean, I'd have to go through the logistics and think like what gambling he, what he can do in the form of gambling to, you know, hurt or hinder the team. But I mean, I would love to see that. I would love to see it. We got another one here. To be fair, Carmelo, D. Wade, Bosch, and Obama at the U.S. Canada game 2 years ago. A lot of business folk were talking about him in Vegas. Honestly, I wanted to. I don't know what the rules are for like a former president in owning franchises. I don't know, but I would have loved if Obama bought the Bulls. There for a while, I
Yeah.
would have loved if Obama bought the Bulls. I
Does
know a lot
Obama
of
have
people.
money like that?
No, I don't know. I don't. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure he
I don't
doesn't.
know. I
But
don't know if he's a billionaire or not. I have no idea.
no, but that would have been awesome. Like somebody big. Like I feel like if you get a big enough name, like a former celebrity or former somebody to buy the Bulls, like that would be just insanely good for it.
And what Samity was saying there too, with the lots of business folk talking about the Vegas team, that's true. I mean, the LeBron to Vegas buzz has been going on for at least like 3 years now. I remember hearing like Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo talk about it on pods 3 or 4 summers ago. So it's something that it's been around for a while. Where there's smoke, there might be a little bit of fire.
Yeah. I'm still like I will say I'm not convinced that LeBron James retires a Laker. I'll say that. I'm not
He's not
convinced that
retiring a Laker.
yeah.
He's
Like
retiring a Cav. He's doing a farewell tour next year with the Cavs. I'm gonna book that now.
okay. I'd respect that. 90-64 in favor of the Toronto Raptors with 5:22 left of the third. Bulls are down by 24 here.
We haven't said a damn thing about this game in like 15 minutes. That's how bad it is in Bulls
There you
Nation
go.
right now, guys. Hey, but Leonard Miller just
What
scored.
a dish. What a dish from Colin Sexton to Leonard Miller. Well, part of the reason is also because it was a little behind here. The stream and the scoreboard's a little behind here. Real quick, because Oh, hold on. Guilty's back.
Guilty's back.
To watch Breaking Bad with
Stepped
my girl.
away from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Never seen Breaking Bad, bro.
No?
Never. Nope. Every time I try, I think I've tried it 3 times. I can't get past like the first couple episodes. Just nothing about it reels me in. And I'm like, all right. And everybody says you got to wait till the end of season 1. And I'm not built that way. The only show that I ever was like that for was The Sopranos. Like that show didn't get good till the end of season 1, and it was hard to get through season 1, but then the way it ended, I was hooked. But I couldn't do that with Breaking Bad.
Yes. I'm going to be right back. Hold down the fort for me, but I want to talk to you about Sopranos when I get back.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, Samity is asking the hard-hitting questions here. Got a hard-hitting question, 7-year-old cousin. 7-year-olds ask the best questions, bro. I got an 8-year-old niece, and she asks me the craziest shit all the time. Is a hamburger a sandwich? How about a hot dog? Technically, right? A sandwich is just bread, meat, bread, right? So technically, I mean, we should have Undisputed in here. Where you at? He's not in this chat. He was on the Discord a couple days ago talking about nobody knows meat like he knows meat. So this would be just a great question for him to answer. But unfortunately, he's not in here right now. But I don't know. I'm gonna say a hamburger is a sandwich, technically, and I'm gonna say a hot dog isn't, because a hamburger kind of has that sandwich shape where a hot dog is, it's long. So that's a good question, Samity. That's what we wanted in the chat here, is just off the beaten path question. And we got Sal back.
Yeah.
Hey, Guilty. I'm not cold, man. Your boy said it verbatim. You don't know meat like I know meat. That's nobody forced him to say that. He said it by himself. That's on him.
Somebody referenced that, like, all right, well, if a hot dog is a sandwich, then does that mean a taco is a sandwich too? Because it's the same concept. Man. Folded up bread around a, like, oh man. A hamburger is always a sandwich to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if
hamburger,
I consider hot dog a sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody's asking the hard questions today.
Samity always comes in with the heat with the questions. Yeah, big Soprano. So actually, Sopranos. Let's talk about Sopranos. It was a reference to it. How did you feel about the ending of Sopranos? I always is one thing I always ask people who have watched that show. I always tell them, give me your interpretation of how the show ended.
So the first time I watched it, I was like, all right, that's lame. And then every time, I think I finished The Sopranos 3. Yeah, I finished it all the way through 3 times now. And I was debating doing another rewatch pretty recently, but I kind of accept it now, but I still don't like it. Like I still feel like they get got. I think the end is Tony kind of realizing that, they're about to get got, and that's him accepting it. What's your interpretation of it?
See, I don't know. I think he gets taken out. I think there's no other logical way to say is he gets taken out, because I don't want to spoil it if there's anyone in here that has not seen The Sopranos or is watching it currently and has it. Please just stop me. Say stop. I don't want to spoil it, but so I'll give people a few seconds to stop because I don't want to spoil anything.
Spoiler alert for a 20-year-old episode is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Just some people just watch shows for the first, like, to me, I'm what is it? I'm about to be 38 this year. I still have not watched all of The Office. So, I mean,
you're not missing much. I mean, to be honest, you're not missing much. Now, if you're telling me you've never watched The Wire all the way through, then I'm going to tell you to hop off this podcast, drop what you're doing, and start binge watching that immediately. Because that, for my money, that's the best TV show of all time. I love The Wire.
I need to go. I have not watched The Wire. Dang.
Oh
man.
My God. Oh my God,
see
man.
you guys later.
See ya. You're out of here. You got better things to do.
Yeah.
Bulls are down what? 34 points? Like go watch 24 points. My math was off there, but go watch The Wire, man. That's
27 at 4:13 left to play. Oh man. We have
Yep.
Brandon Ingram just scores whenever he wants to. Like Brandon
Whenever
Ingram's
he wants.
uh
Would you? Here we go. Here's a Bulls question. Would you trade
there we
Nick
go.
Claxton for Jalen Smith? Yes. Yes, I
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
would.
Without question.
Yep. I like Nick Claxton. That contract's a little long, but hey, the Bulls are. It's not like the Bulls are competing for anything anytime soon, so they don't really need to worry about taking on long-term money.
Yeah. Well, how much does Claxton make? I didn't know. I didn't see his salary.
I can look it up here. I believe it's like I want to say it's like 25 million for the next 3 years. Where is his contract?
Yeah.
Yeah, he signed a 4-year, $100 million deal in July 2024. So yeah, 25 million a year through 27, 28. Not a bad contract at all.
No, not really. See, guilty. That's why I stopped, because I know there's people who still watch that. So I guess guilty is about to show his girl The Sopranos for the first time. See, that's why I had to stop. I had to stop.
You gotta hold on to that one, guilty, because I know my wife well enough. She would not make it through The Sopranos. I know her attention span. She's told me she wants to watch The Godfather before, and I'm like, baby, I love you, but you're not making it through The Godfather. Like I got her to watch Scarface, and that's how I knew she wasn't gonna make it through The Godfather, because she fell asleep during Scarface. And I was like, if you fall asleep during Scarface, you're not gonna have the attention span for The Godfather. There's a lot going on in that movie.
Oh man, Godfather is probably a top 5 movie for me of all time, easily.
Is it a hot take to say I like Godfather 2 more than Godfather 1? Is that considered a hot take?
No. Honestly, there's a lot of people that like the sequel over. Like it's a hot take if you say that the third one was better than any of them, but because I think that's unanimous. That one was just awful.
Yep.
But the second one, the second one was really good. I really liked the second one. I don't know, just something about the first one, because like my family's from where the Corleones were from in the show. Like we're not that far away from there. Like that island, Corleone is like half hour from where my parents grew up. So like one summer I actually did go back to Italy, and I saw the place that they filmed that movie in, and turns out like they're really invested in that movie. Like their number one form of sales and revenue is just banking off of that movie. Like
just
everything
tourism?
tourism. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, man.
So, but it's still a good sight to see. The town's a lot smaller than I thought.
That would be so cool. Yeah, seeing that in person would be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's weird because since like I had vacation there for a while, it just looked like the rest of the country. You know what I mean? Like it just looked just like my parents, place that they were born from. So Modest hoists up a 3 and miss. We have a 101-70 basketball game. Casey Johnson, I'm sure, has
31 points.
Casey Johnson, I'm sure, has initiated his 30-point deficit tweet.
Yabu threw it off Trey Jones' shoe. Solid work. Solid work. Are you still as high on Yabu as you were?
Oh man, I love Yabu.
I called him the tank commander, and people got mad at me, but I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, we just looking for that. I mean, every fan's just looking for that one guy that they love, man. Like I think it's just because how hard Yabu came out of the gates, man. And to give up, just Dalen Terry. I don't want to say just Dalen Terry, but giving up Dalen Terry, and who saw minimal minutes, and we got Yabu, who saw some starting time, can hit the outside shot, is kind of a presence down low. Like, is he elite? No, but is he holding his own on this roster? Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Man,
wow.
Just threw it down on us.
I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but
I just call him Mamu.
I got to take a stab at saying this.
Mamu. That was that Shaq meme that, I'm sorry, I was not familiar with your game. I didn't know he could do that.
That was nuts. Mamu Kalashvili. God bless.
That's got to be somewhat accurate. And then Patrick Williams does Patrick Williams things.
You gotta love Modest sticking through that play right there.
Yeah.
Who did he have on the floor there? Was that Jacoby Walter?
I think it was.
Yeah. Oh, they're just finding the inside way too easy.
Story of the Bulls this year. Just no resistance to teams going to the rim.
Yeah. That paint is just wide open for the taking for the Raptors here. Oh, Kobe Walter got him with the eyebrow fake or the couple pump fakes. Oh, 32 106 to 1 or to 106 to 74 with 31.5 left in the third. And despite having a 32-point lead, Darko Romanovic is angry on the sidelines for whatever reason.
He's keeping a minute. We need Samdy Eats. That's what Guilty's suggesting here. I would have 100% subscribed to a YouTube page where it's just Samdy talking food. Just let's go, Samdy. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, honestly, like he asked some of the best questions, like about, and it's food related. I would definitely subscribe to a Samity video of him just going to random places and eating, man. I would definitely subscribe to that. As big a fan as Samity is for all of our individual podcasts, like, he's old, man. I can't wait for him to start doing content, Samity, so we can pay this all back, dude.
Whether it's food, basketball, jujitsu, whatever, Samity, just make some content, bro.
Yeah. And with that, the end of the third quarter is 108 to 76 in favor of, you guessed it, the Toronto Raptors. Who would have saw that coming?
32. It's a rough night in Chicago.
Yes, Chicago. The Bulls ended that third quarter with, trying to find it's not a box score, but okay. The Bulls ended that frame with 31 points to the Toronto Raptors 36.
So far in this game, Josh Giddey is 9 points, 0 rebounds, 3 assists. He's shooting 4 for 13, 1 for 8 from 3. He has 3 turnovers and a a team worst -30 plus minus. This is not a strong game for our boy Josh Giddey tonight. And the thing is, I haven't noticed anything defensively that Toronto has really done to slow him down like this. Like, it's not like the playing game against the Heat where Davion Mitchell was just on him the whole time. And you're like, all right, I kind of get it. That's one of the better defenders. Like, the Raptors aren't really sticking Scotty Barnes on him. They're kind of guarding him straight up. It's mostly been RJ Barrett tonight. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, especially the 0 rebounds. You don't see that from Josh Giddey.
Well, here's the reason why. our
the
boy,
parlay,
yep, he's got him on the parlay. That's usually what happens.
Yep.
I'm looking at the plus minuses here for the Bulls, and it's some pretty lousy numbers here. -30 to Giddey, -23 to Buzelis, Patrick Williams -22, 17 to Richards, 12 to Yabusele, 14 to Colin Sexton, and really the best plus minuses are Leonard Miller and Jalen Smith, accordingly, with -9. I think this was just a game of momentum, man. I don't think the Bulls had what it takes to keep up with the momentum of the Toronto Raptors. Especially they basically gave the lane away tonight. I mean, how many points in the paint do they have? I'd love to see points in the paint, 46 to 36, but they're just getting to the paint at will. You know what I mean?
The crazy thing is they've only given up 4 offensive rebounds. It feels like a lot more in this game. Maybe that's just because the Raptors are living in the paint this game, but yeah, it's another high turnover game. They got 14 turnovers. Giddey has 3, Jones has 3, Jalen Smith has 3. Like, it's just another high turnover game. My question is, being that the Raptors are up by 32, do you think we're going to see Bulls legend Garrett Temple get some run at any point in this fourth quarter here?
I hope so, man. I'm hoping, like, I'm watching this now, like, and silly me, I always say, like, I'm always watching for the win. I always want them to play their hardest, but I'm hoping we get to see, some Yuki Mania, some Lachlan Olbrich, I want to see them get their minutes, but Be cool to see Garrett Temple, man. I forgot he played for us.
It's crazy he's still in the NBA because he was on our team for that 2020, 2021 year. And his role was what we were discussing earlier, that locker room veteran. He didn't really play.
Mm-hmm.
He was just the old guy to show the young guys the way. So now, 5 years later, he's still playing that role in Toronto. He's been in Toronto ever since, I believe. So shout out to Garrett Temple, just finding a way to still show value, just being a locker room guy and still getting that paycheck at the end of the day.
That Rob Dillingham roll to the cup was really nice. That was really nice.
And then the Raptors came back with Scotty Barnes in the post with the mismatch.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an example of Scotty Barnes just being too big. I mean, Buzelis tries to come over, second too late, but yeah, if there's a switch and they get, I think he had Sexton on him there. Or no, maybe it was Dillingham, but that's free cheese every time.
Yeah. I'm sorry. There was just, if you guys are watching the game, there's a shot of Billy Donovan just walking away, scratching his head, and you could just feel the frustration of, I don't know what the heck to do.
I've always wondered, like, what do you do as a coach in that situation? Like, there's no pep talk you can give. It's just, all right, guys, it's not our night. Just go have fun, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah. We're losing by almost 40. Just don't lose by 50. How about that? Like, that'll be the win. Scotty B says the Raptors don't need to get offensive rebounds. Yep. They are shooting 60% from the field. Yeah, it's obnoxious. Darko to any G League player in the roster if they played a G League game early as well. Suit up, you're playing for 10 minutes. The fact of the matter is, like, the man's still pissed off on the sideline. Bro's got a 34-point lead, and he's still angry as hell on the sidelines.
Yeah, you would think he's the one coaching. Down 34. Yeah, he's definitely one of the better coaches in the NBA. You can see the system he's running this year with Toronto. It's definitely paying off. So they're a well-coached team. They're a deep team too. That's the other thing, is there hasn't been a drop-off when their starters aren't on the court. Like when Ingram rests or Barrett rests or Barnes rests, there's no drop-off. It's another team. It's not as good as OKC, but similar to OKC, where it's just everybody knows their role. They play within the system and they play hard. They're a good team.
Yeah.
That is one thing that the Bulls definitely need to focus on going forward, in my opinion, is build a system and get players who play within that system. Like for the Bulls, when Josh Giddey or Modest Buzelis come out of the game changes drastically. The style of the game changes drastically. The system totally changes and breaks down. Where you watch the Thunder, it doesn't matter who misses time. If SGA is out, they still play the same way. It's just not going through SGA. Obviously, it's going through the rest of the team. But they need to build a system and then get players that fit that system and will adhere to that system.
Yep.
Got a rough schedule coming up. We got the Cavs tomorrow. Wow. I'll actually be hopping on a Cavaliers podcast tomorrow across the Cavs. Asked me to come on. Yeah, do a little pregame bit with them. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Then we got the Rockets, the Sixers, the Thunder, and the Grizzlies. Man, we got to play the Grizzlies again. That was like, we won. It was a fun game to watch, but just that Grizzlies team was so bad. Like, I watch a lot of basketball. They were playing dudes I've never heard of before.
Yeah. It was fun to see like statement game for Yuki coming back with his former team. Like, my man balled out for that game. But yeah, tough schedule.
Those are the games to me that are tough to watch, is when I'm out there. Like the Wizards. When I watch the Wizards, I'm like, I watch a lot of basketball. I haven't heard of half of these guys before. Like this time of year, that's when it gets hard to watch. Watching the Bulls, not that hard to watch. Like, people will say, how do you watch the Bulls every night? One, I like the Bulls, so I'm just going to watch them no matter what. But at least they're not playing dudes I've never heard of. Like everybody on the roster, even Leonard Miller, I had heard of him. He was a prospect coming out of the draft. He was a high second-round pick who people thought had upside. You know, Nick Richards, I'd heard of him. Like, they have players I've heard of.
Yeah. And also, like, not to segue that, but like, how can you watch the Bulls? And there's a lot of fun talent on our team still. Just because we're losing basketball games doesn't mean that the talent isn't there. We could be watching a game and for no apparent reason, whatsoever, Modest Buzelis just throws down a dunk that almost brings down, the entire backboard, or he's knocking down 7 threes in a game, or there's other stuff that goes around too. Like there's other exciting things that happen. I don't know, maybe just because I've been a Bulls fan for 30 years, like I can look beyond the loss and just watch the beauty of the game itself. Also, the community helps too. And also, speaking of the Bulls community, I'm going to have to do a plug here. Guilty was on here. I'm not sure if he's still in the chat, but if you have not hopped in the Bulls HQ Discord, it really is the greatest Chicago Bulls Discord in the game. It's active literally from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, and Guilty does an absolutely phenomenal job of creating a space for us Bulls fans to come together and talk Bulls. So if you haven't joined, jump in Bulls HQ Discord. What did Scotty
got a Noah Essengay question in the chat. So he's been cleared for non-contact practice. They released that video of him working out the other day too. Yeah. You think we're going to see him this year? Or are they just ramping him up for next year?
See, this is where I'm gonna make a lot of enemies when I say this, but oh wow, I'd probably say just ramp him up for next year.
Yes.
I don't see any rhyme or reason. Yeah. I mean, really, it's only going to hinder his development by putting him out there with a team with little to no chemistry. And also, what are you trying to prove? We know what this kid's, can be. He just unfortunately got hurt his rookie season. We've seen it with Blake Griffin. We've seen it before. I'm looking for next season. I still have high hopes on Noah Essengay. I mean, I know the Bulls community is very divided when it comes to Noah Essengay, but I still think that man can be something special.
I have no Noah Essengay opinions just because we didn't see him. So I've said it before, right. Like his Germany tape doesn't impress me. It's not NBA competition. His G League tape doesn't impress me. Mac McClung just dropped 54 points in the G League. I'm sorry. I'm never going to be impressed by G League stuff. All I know is when I saw him on an NBA court, the only time I really saw him, they played him, they put him in against Zion Williamson of all men, and Zion Williamson demolished him. He did what Zion does. So I have no opinions of Essengay one way or the other. I'm hoping for the best, but I can't say that I think he's going to be good, and I can't say I think he's going to be bad. I can say if they play him the rest at any point this season, like tear the whole thing down, fire everybody on the staff, because just a month ago he was still on his full shoulder brace. Like he still had that big brace on. They took that on like less than a month ago, which means that for the past 4 months he hasn't been able to work out and strengthen his body. So there's no way his body is ready for the contact of the NBA right now, being out of that brace for 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it is. So ramp him up for next year. Do not play him this year. I don't think they're even thinking of playing him this year, but sounds like he's going to play in the summer league, so we should get to see him fairly soon.
Yeah, and hopefully he's playing alongside newly acquired rookie AJ Debinca for the Chicago. I'm buying his jersey. Scotty B is going to be so pissed that I'm saying that, but I'm going to say it right now. Scotty B, if we draft AJ Debinca, I have to buy a jersey. If you're an avid listener to my other show, I have bad luck when it comes to jerseys, but I need to get one.
Got a league-wide question here regarding the Rockets. How do you handle the point guard position going forward? I don't think Shepherd is that, and Amen just can't do it going forward. Have you watched a lot of Rockets this year?
No, but I'll tell you what, I am a big fan of Amen Thompson highlights. Like him and Asar, like they're like what the Morris twins should have been. Like I'm a big fan of the Thompson twins.
They are both in the top 3% of athletes in the league. Like they're some of the freakiest athletes you will ever watch. The problem is Amen is just not a point guard, and they're trying to force him into a point guard right now. He's a good ball handler, but he's just not a point guard. He can't shoot, which really limits your abilities as a point guard if you can't shoot in today's NBA. I'd agree with you. They need to handle the point guard situation going forward. Shepard is nice, but he kind of profiles as more of like a off the bench scoring kind of Peyton Pritchard type of point guard, in my opinion. To me, the interesting thing is if they lose in the first round, which is definitely a possibility because right now I think they're matched up with the Nuggets. Shangoon has been kind of terrible for like 3 months now, and it feels like nobody's talking about it. Do they do something crazy? Do they put Shangoon on the trade block? And then what does that trade market look like? Because Shangoon is a player where if he's going to be effective, you got to run everything through him. And then that brings to question like, how do you build a roster around a player like Shangoon that you got to run everything through? Because we call him Jokic light, but he's not nearly the shooter and he doesn't have nearly the touch that Nikola Jokic does.
Yuki! Breaking news, Yuki Mania has just checked in, enters the game for Rob Dillingham. 7 minutes and 42 seconds left of the fourth quarter. Yuki's checking in. Scotty B, if you buy that jersey, he will get a Paul George knee injury game one. Yeah, that's probably what will happen. Did I ever elaborate on my jerseys?
I'm wondering if you like bought a Lonzo jersey the day before he tore his meniscus. Like, are you the one to blame for the Lonzo injury? What's the backstory here?
Well, I never bought a Lonzo Ball jersey, but I'll give you an order from coincidence to just weird. So I kind of had like a theory. That was a man's duck by Nick Richards. Sorry. So where do I start? I've always had like a self-conscious, like, is it me that every time I wear a jersey, the Bulls lose? I thought it was just luck in that sense, but it was worse. So the year I have 3 Derrick Rose jerseys, right?
Okay.
All 3 of them were were purchased the year that he got all 3 major knee injuries. The weird part is they're all the same color jersey that he was wearing when he got injured. I had bought a white Derrick Rose jersey when he tore his ACL, a black jersey, and what's the other one I have? But all 3 were sustained from when he had his major knee injuries. My dad bought me a Jamal Crawford #1 jersey when Jamal Crawford was on the team because I was a big fan of his. So he goes to the stadium, buys the jersey, gives it to me. I wear it for a game. That just so happens to be the game that Jamal Crawford goes up for a dunk, falls on his neck, and gets stretchered off the court. This is 100% honest.
Jesus.
Luol Deng, I got his jersey, and he was traded a week later. Devin Hester, I don't know if you said you're a casual Bears fan.
I loved the Bears back in that day. Devin Hester is like my favorite football player of all time.
So I bought a jersey from Devin Hester. Again, coincidence. Bought his jersey after the day after he had returned a kick. I forgot which one it was. After I bought his jersey, never returned another kickoff for the Bears again.
Brandon Marshall was traded that season. You might be cursed. Like I might have to enact what I call the Ben Roethlisberger or Deshaun Watson rule for you, where like one time, maybe coincidence, maybe they're lying, 2 times, and then when you get up, 3, 4, 5, however many accusers those guys had, then you're like, where there's smoke, there's fire. So you just gave me like 7 examples of you cursing somebody because you purchased their jersey. He might have a point. You might need to stay far away from getting an AJ jersey. I mean, I don't know, man. You couldn't have bought a Nikola Vucevic jersey at any point in the last 4 years?
I mean, I did. I bought it for my oldest. My oldest has a Nikola Vucevic jersey signed by DeMar DeRozan and was it Chris Fleming? Our assistant coach. I'm drawing a blank.
Chris Fleming. Yep. The one who got choked. Yeah.
So apparently, my son looked at him and said that I got you in a fight with John Collins, and I guess he like, all right, let me sign your shirt there. Oh yeah, that's right. I got that Kobe White Sub-Zero jersey, and then the next game, Pascal Siakam injures him.
Oof. Yeah. There's where there's smoke, there's fire, bro.
Yeah. So unfortunately, jerseys are out of the question for me. And the wife and me were seriously debating going to a Windy City Bulls game because they were giving out a reversible Yuki Kawamura jersey, and we were really high on that, but we didn't end up going. I'll just say that. All right, 125-93. go figure, in favor of the bad guys. 5:40 left to play of the fourth.
Hey, Bobby Dills, corner three.
Bobby D. Yeah, there you go. Best
Ooh,
non-Bulls jersey you wished you got. Honestly, this is going to be a deep cut for some people. Okay. Monte Ellis, Milwaukee Bucks jersey with the buck on it. The one with the buck on it.
okay.
Those I still have it on my wish list.
Okay. One that I wish I have. I have a pretty extensive jersey collection, so there's not too many that I wish I had. Tracy McGrady Magic jersey. I guess that would probably be number one on the ones that I don't own. I loved T-Mac growing up. I have a Penny Hardaway Magic jersey. That's probably my favorite non-Bulls jersey that I got. So yeah, T-Mac with the Magic. I don't want T-Mac with the Raptors. I don't want T-Mac with the Rockets. Give me that Orlando Magic peak Tracy McGrady.
Yeah. Honorable mention was the Honey Dip Toronto Raptors jersey from last
Oh
season.
yeah. Yeah.
That was insane. That was a sick jersey. That was probably one of the best jerseys I've ever seen.
Being that you were a Sonics fan, do you have like the old school Sonics jersey? You got one of those?
I have a Sean
Those were
Kemp
sick.
number 40.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love those jerseys. But honestly, I'm one of those rare fans that I didn't mind the mid 90s like Space Needle where was it where they went forest
Yep.
green and burgundy. Like I didn't mind
Yep.
those. Like were
The
they the
ones they
best?
played
No.
they had
The
those when
Bulls
they
in?
played the Bulls in the finals. Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
those were cool. It's just the originals were so much
Mhm.
better.
Like to this day, like I'm hoping if they do bring back the Sonics, like they have a logo similar to their old one. Obviously not carbon copy, but like I don't know. I just loved everything about that team. You know, I want to say Gary Payton and Sean Kemp were probably one of the best lob duos in NBA history.
I think they're number one. I think it's like you got
Yeah,
them, you got Shaq and Penny, and Jason Kidd
Chris
and
Paul and
Jason. Yeah, you got Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin, Steve Nash, and Amari Stoudemire. Like,
Paul and
they got to
Griffin.
be. Yeah, I'm putting GP in the Rain Man number one for sure.
That was a bad team, man. How many like I say this a lot, but like how many teams were like spoiled because MJ took a ring from them? Like that Sonics team was a bad team. That was a good team.
I went on like a deep dive over the summer because somebody was saying some crazy MJ slander about how all the teams back then sucked. So I went on a deep dive, and the Western Conference back then did not suck. The Western Conference was a bloodbath back then. Like we think it's a
Mhm.
bloodbath now, but you had that Sonics team was consistently above 55 wins every year. The Jazz were above 55 wins. The
Mhm.
Blazers, the Suns, the Rockets, like
The
that. When
Rockets,
I
yep.
I deeped over all the standings in the 90s, and I was like, there's 4 or 5 Western Conference teams that are 55 wins or above every single year. Like it's insane that MJ dominated that era the way that he did.
Yeah. And just to be met with a lot of people that say, "Oh, he was playing against the talent, whatever excuse, insert whatever excuse you have here." Like all I know is that like all those forementioned teams we named, like they each had a Hall of Famer on the team. Like, you know what I mean? Like you mentioned some of those teams that just like, go through Shaq, go through, Karl Malone. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say his name anymore, but um I all right. 132-101. Toronto Raptors, 3:10 left to play.
And they
Gary
got their
Temple
scrub
is on the
team in.
court.
Yep, Gary Temple, Grady Dick. He's a guy like when he got drafted, a bunch of people were like, "Oh my god, he's going to be so good." And I was still watching college basketball at the time. I was like, "I don't see it, guys. I just see like kind of like a Luke Kennard type where like he's a good three-point shooter, but the volume isn't. He doesn't put up enough shots to really take advantage of it.
Mhm.
And everything else in his game just leaves a lot to be desired. And now you're seeing he got no run this game besides these last 2 minutes in a blowout game.
2 minutes. Yep. 3 minutes. Yeah. Bobby D with 15 points. What is the Oh, Scott just wants me to say this. Go ahead. Yeah, this Scott wants me to say this.
What I got to know, what's the coolest autograph or
Oh,
sports memorabilia you got?
because it came from Scott. That's why it's hilarious. It's hilarious. So my coolest sports memorabilia that I have is Scotty B actually bought me a signed picture of Joey Crawford one year. I was supposed to
Oh,
frame it and
oh
put it up
shit.
somewhere here, but like the referee Joey Crawford, I know that's why he asked that question. Um, and he's like pointing at Tim Duncan, and it's signed by Joey Crawford because he's like, I'm going to buy you some. I'm going to buy you what is it? I'm going to get you a Crawford autograph. And I'm like, I thought he was talking about my boy Jamal Crawford, like, because that was one of my favorite Bulls of all time.
Yeah.
It shows up and it's Joey Crawford, which is still a cool
Joey
picture. So.
Crawford. All right. That's nice. What's my cool it's not basketball, it's football, but I'm staring at it right now. So it's framed. It's a team photo of the 85 Bears, and it's
Ooh,
signed by every member of the 85 Bears. So
what?
that one's pretty cool. I got that for my birthday. That has to be like 10 years old. And now I barely watch football, so it's still cool though. Like 85 Bears, that's before I was
Yeah.
born. I was born in 89, but still cool. Probably the coolest piece of sports memorabilia I own.
Damn. Yeah, that was before me, that 85 last Super Bowl victory, which is wild
Yep.
to think like as like the Bears are really synonymous with like just losing and poor, the Bears still have made a finals appearance before the Bulls did in the 2000s. Like of
Yep.
the major sports teams in Chicago, the Chicago Bulls are the only sports team who have not made a finals appearance in the 2000s. It is insane.
Yep. That Bears Super Bowl against the Colts, probably one of the lowest, like going from an all-time high to an all-time low. One of my best friends in high school was also a Bears fan, so we were all watching the game together. And when Hester returned that opening kick, like we
Mhm.
were losing our mind. And then we found out it got called back, and just instant, like you kind of knew after that, like, oh, it's gonna be one of those games. We're not winning this.
Yeah. Well, Peyton Manning.
Peyton
Uh
Manning.
Peyton. I'm trying to think like what is like the actual coolest autograph jersey or autograph thing that I have. I mean, the Joey Crawford one is pretty cool, but probably I have a Jimmy Butler jersey signed somewhere. I'm not really big on like autographs. Oh, I have actually. I take that back. I have a Luol Deng jersey signed by Larry Hughes.
That's so random, but I respect it. I'm not a I'm not an autograph guy either. I worked like high-end security for years, so concert security, venues and stuff, and would meet like professional athletes, artists and stuff. And that was always the rule is don't ask these guys for autographs, bro. Funny
Yep.
enough, the craziest I've ever seen anybody lose their mind. We had just hired this kid and I was training him in. And do you follow football fairly close, or did you like 15 years ago, like the 2010 range?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We
Okay.
talking
So
like
there
Jay
was a
Cutler, like that
like
era.
that same era, but
Yeah.
we're working in Minneapolis, so it's a Vikings guy. Travaris Jackson walks in, and this kid that we just hired absolutely loses his mind. Like you would have thought that Randy Moss just walked in and goes over, hounds him for an autograph, and he comes back, and I was like, dude, they're gonna fire you for that. And sure enough, he got fired because he lost his mind over seeing Travaris Jackson. But that's that world is you're dealing with celebrities every day. You can't be asking them for autographs. I have a lot of pictures with a lot of different celebrities and stuff, but no autographs or anything.
KG ever come through?
KG did not come through. Do you remember Nikola Pekovic,
Yeah.
Timberwolves center? He used to come through all the time. And if you guys haven't heard, the rumor about him since he retired is he's like a drug kingpin in Russia now or
Hmm.
something like that. And I can believe those rumors because he'd come in full mink coat, full entourage. Like you guys think Jokic's brothers look scary. That's who Nikola Pekovic surrounded himself with. So he came in all the time. Ricky Rubio came in and he was the nicest guy ever. I love Ricky Rubio. He was
He
such a
looks
cool
like
dude back then. Trying to think other Timberwolves
Shabazz.
back in the day. Shabazz came in a couple times. Yeah, he
Oh
was he was a
man, I
freak
was
show
so
guy.
high on Shabazz, man. So high on
Yeah.
Shabazz.
We got a lot more Viking players than Timberwolf players. Like Percy Harvin was a regular at one of the bars that I worked at. Um, Cordell Patterson, he was a regular, and it was funny because when he first got to Minnesota, like we had a little problem one of the first times he was in the club, and I was like trying to talk to him and his entourage. I'm not joking. I couldn't understand a word the man said. Like his accent was so thick. I was like, I don't know what you just said, bro. And then when the Super Bowl was here in 2018 or 2019, he was in town doing some promo stuff, and he became friends with another friend who worked with me. Like they stayed in contact and stuff. So he came and said what's up to us, and that accent was like all the way gone. It was crazy.
Yeah. What about AP? AP ever come through?
AP came through. Yeah, AP came through. He's a very big individual in real life. Like just like he has muscles on his chin, like just everywhere is chiseled and jacked on him. It was crazy. That was another thing with like Percy Harvin too, is his biceps were the size of my head. Like that guy, he
Jeez.
would this was back in like the Ed Hardy era. So he'd wear like a tight Ed Hardy shirt and just poof. It was
Man, that
yeah,
was
there's luckily I never had any problems with any players or anything like that. They
no.
were all pretty cool, pretty down to earth. One of my friends, he still likes to give me shit because I didn't they're football players, they wear helmets, you don't recognize them like you'd recognize a basketball player. But
Mhm.
I was an absolute asshole to Harrison Smith one time, and he's like now the most iconic Viking of all time. But I didn't know who he was. It was like maybe his second year, and I'm working, and he's got a VIP table, and I'm standing there, and it had already been a long night, and I'm clearly wearing a shirt that says security, but he comes up and he's like, "Hey, my table needs more champagne." And I was like, "Can you read?" And he looks at me, and I'm like, "This says security. It doesn't say bartender. You need to go to the bar." And he apologized. He was super nice, but my buddy came over. He's like, "Why did you just do that?" And I was like, "Who the hell's that guy?" He's like, "That's Harrison Smith." And I was like, "That's the hitman?" Like, oops, my bad. And
But still,
I went up and apologized to him. I was like, "Hey man, that was kind of an asshole move on my part. I'm just having a long night or whatever." And he was super cool about it. But yeah, he's
that's awesome,
nice,
man.
super nice guy.
That's awesome. Shout out Ricky Rubio, battling mental. Yeah. Yeah. People,
Yeah.
check on your people, man. Check on your people. Check in. Ask them how
Man,
they're doing.
I'm still convinced Ricky Rubio, if he hadn't torn his ACL his rookie year, I was at the game he tore his ACL at because they were playing the Lakers, and I had to anytime Kobe was in town, I was going to see it. But man, if Ricky Rubio hadn't torn his ACL on that play, I think he would have been like an all-star level point guard. He was
Mhm.
that good his rookie year.
Yeah, that Minnesota team was actually really good. Like the Peck,
Really
I know
fun.
you threw it back with Pekovic. Did you guys have Al Jefferson with Pekovic, if I remember correctly? Or did they get
No, it was
traded for
Kevin.
each other?
It was Kevin Love with
Kevin Love.
Pekovic. I
Okay,
can't
yeah,
remember
yeah.
who Al Jefferson got traded for. But he
Yeah, but
was Al Jefferson was on the team for a bit, but then by the time Peck came around, that was like the first all white team because they had Pekovic, they had Kevin Love, they had Andre Karolinko, Chase Budinger, and then Ricky Rubio at point guard. So it was like, you guys are running five white guys out there. This ain't gonna work.
uh and speaking of not working, that is going to be the buzzer on the Bulls game. We have here 139 to 109 defeat. Yeah, well, there's not much good that we could say. It was just wall to wall. This is it. I mean, how well
That
did
was
the
it.
Bulls game went? Well, we spent 2 hours and 22 minutes talking about the Sopranos and jerseys here. Like,
Yep.
you know,
Got some throwback Minnesota Timberwolves talk in.
mhm,
The graphic on the game just showed this is the Raptors' first time sweeping the Bulls in a season series since the 1920 years. So
mhm,
that shows. I mean, these teams are just they're two franchises headed in opposite directions. The
mhm.
Raptors, they kind of have their squad right now. They seem to be getting better every year, and the Bulls are. We don't really know what the direction is right now.
Yeah, and honestly, like some of those stats, man, I take with a grain of salt, man. Like the other day when there was like, oh, it was the worst franchise or the worst month in franchise history, the 11 straight losses. Like, yeah, and I take that with a grain of salt because like we made so many trades. That team, it was clearly not the mentality post what is it, a post trade deadline to push for a playoff berth. So I'm not surprised. Like some of those stats, like yeah, the Toronto Raptors swept the Bulls for the first time in franchise history. Big whoop. Like, you know what I mean? Like who's
Yeah.
really trying? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Some of those stats I think they're there for like rage bait.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see that.
So
Rough game tonight, but I mean, we had fun. Shout out to everybody
I
who
had a
was in
lot
the
of fun.
chat who kept it fun. Like at one point, I was watching the game, but I was more paying attention to the chat, paying attention to what we were talking about.
Mhm.
And I swear it went from like a 4-point game to like a 30-point game as soon as I blinked my eyes. I was like, wait, when did we get down by 30?
Yeah.
But it shows you how different it is when you're watching on mute like this. Like it's a totally different experience watching on mute rather than having Stacy and Adam, giving you the play by play and everything. So
Yeah.
this was a lot of fun.
This was fun. Yeah. Chat, thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to see more of this, we'd be happy to watch the game. Hopefully we have better games to report
Better
on.
games.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. If you like what you saw, please go ahead and subscribe to Bulls on Tap Sport Network. Like this video, share it with your friends. Huge thank you to the On Tap crew for allowing Justin and myself to take the reins of this and address you guys. And I'm really appreciative of how much free will they've given us to do literally whatever we want with an already established podcast. I mean, Justin's reached out to so many great guests that it really is incredible. We're so happy that we could be a part of it. And actually, man, Justin, while we're here, dude, this shout out to you, bro, because as many of you know, like I run a busy schedule. I have another show, I haven't made the last 2 episodes, and you literally didn't miss a beat. You've been out there grinding, getting some top tier guests, keeping this show going, like upgrading your gear, man. Like you really have been holding down the fort, and I'm really happy. Like it really makes me like it pumps me up to know like I got a good co-host who's got my back for this thing, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you saying it, man. It's I think I've said it before. I don't half-ass anything I do. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna really dive into it. So when we got this opportunity, I told Matt and Big Dave on that pod the other day, like when we got this opportunity, I was watching a bunch of their podcasts and seeing kind of how they do it. And because I really respect those guys, I think they have one of the better products out there right now. And upgrading the gear and everything, just wanted it to look as professional as possible. And now just trying to get cool guests lined up because my thing is like it never hurts to ask. Like the worst that somebody's gonna say is no. So I'm gonna keep asking it. If you guys are following me on Twitter and you're getting sick of me tweeting at people asking them to come on the show, press that unfollow button because I'm not gonna stop anytime soon.
Yeah, and what's weird is like you're asking people and they're saying yes. So like there's literally
Yep.
nothing to be. I mean, we've had, Matt and Big Dave, Joe Lorenzi. I mean, Joey Crawley even responded back to you. I think he said something
Yep.
along the lines of maybe not during the season, but afterwards.
Yep.
My goal was always, my goal when in any form of, I know I have 2 shows, but my goal for both shows wasn't, to reach, monetization. It wasn't any particular stat. It was honestly to meet cool guests and really be engulfed in the community like I was. So, I mean, it really is really cool that I could sit here and talk Bulls and people actually pay attention and follow. Like, I've had dozens of people in this chat, and the fact that they stuck around to the end when we're really not even talking about the game, it makes me feel very blessed to know that I have a platform to do that.
Yep. It's crazy, man. I was looking at my Twitter page today and I think it's up to like 2.4K or some of the followers. And I'm like, this is crazy because this literally just started from me having a surgery and being like, I got way too much free time. Let me just post my basketball thoughts. And it's crazy to me that people like what I have to say. And it's even crazier when people get really mad at the things I have to say because I'm just a guy posting his random. That's what all my captions say on my videos. It's like just a guy walking his dog and talking about Julius Randle or whatever we're going to talk about today. So shout out to everybody who's following the pod and subscribing and liking it. Appreciate if you guys are sharing it too. But yeah, we're gonna figure out our schedule coming up here, but we'll be back next week. I think we got a couple of cool guests lined up for next week. So shout out to everybody for hopping on this one and stay tuned in for some cool guests coming up.
For sure. Man, you got to teach me how to get some guests, man. I'm only at 157, bro. Twitter's not my thing, dude. I'm not good at Twitter, bro. I'm not good at Twitter. I'm not good at social media.
I don't think I'm good at it either. I just literally say stuff and press the post button. I'm like, here we go. And then sometimes it takes off and other times it does not.
Facts. Chad, before we head out, if there's anything that you would like to see added or omitted from the show going forward, please add it in the comment section, DM us. If you want to be featured or have an idea for a guest, please. We take any and all constructive criticism, and what could make our goal is to make this the best show we possibly can, and we can only do that with your guys' help. You got anything else, or we?
I think we're good, man. Take it easy, Chat. Thanks for coming out.
Take it easy, Chat. Even though they lost today, go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
We had fun being here. Night, everybody.
Sound best. Live when the mic snaps. Justin! In the cut, bring the fight back. Windy City Talk, turn it down, that's that. Welcome to the show, it's Bulls on tap. Bulls on tap, pull it up, press play. Chi-Town Talk, we can run it all day. From the tip-off buzz to the post-game rap. If you rock with the Bulls, you rock with